put there is to do something
inadvisable. Some nice Latin for all of you all. Just delete the one that was incorrect. There we go.
Are we finished?
I'm ready.
Are we finished?
I've done all the adverts.
All the adverts, all the tweeting? Already? Okay, hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. We're live on the internet. It's Thursday night, it's ladies' night, and I am very excited to see you all. I'm very excited to see the two people opposite me, both Nick and Tom. Hello.
Hi, Rob.
Hiya.
Hi,
I
Rob.
have been alone for the entire day, so this might be, I might say some odd things.
How many times have you pleasured yourself?
Wow.
Straight in on personal questions.
I've actually gone red again. I think this is good, possibly. I'm
Again.
dying. Bragg Lover, hello. Right, so hello, welcome to you two. Are you both great?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good, yeah.
Good, exciting. On today's subject, we're going to be both talking about the 40k FAQ that has finally come out, and we're going to be talking about the Warhammer World team.
Rob,
Finally.
are we on the correct?
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a different computer.
Ah.
Don't worry. I know. Nick knows. Nick, what's that
He knows
plugged
the
into?
system. That's plugged into the universe somewhere.
It just looks like we're doing a battle report.
Don't worry, the guys can see it. I promise you, it's all good. So I'm excited to see you two. We're going to be talking about the FAQ, and before you, because you guys might be excited or you're not sure, quick fire roundup. One word, good or bad.
Good.
Good.
Also good. Then we're going to be talking about the Warhammer World Team Tournament. Yeah, very quickly.
Amazing.
Good.
Wasn't there. Excellent. 2 words, I cheated. So hello to everyone on Patreon, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Thank you for joining us. I will be taking questions on Twitch, so you should join us every Thursday, 7 p.m. UK time, because we love talking to you. And now I'm going to go talk to those dickheads who are watching right now. That's
All right, we're just going to ignore us for 5 minutes to talk to them.
I'll read them out to you because they
Okay,
like
yeah.
hearing
Yeah,
you.
so we
Number
know.
one, show hero, Scrivo is here, but the show hero who's even more of a hero, Sir Flukesalot, is also here.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, he's put loads of salty memes in there. Irish Minotaur is excited, as is Camelot. And then Camelot says, I was enjoying the old meta, I was doing so well, and now he's scared about the new meta.
Uh-oh.
Have you got any words of advice for him?
Don't play Gene Stealer cults.
Wow, okay, all right. Treeland, thank you for subscribing. Arkian, asking all the important questions is what he said. Bragg Lover, had a great time at the 40k team event last weekend, can't wait to hear it from another perspective. Bragg Lover is a hero.
And I found out what colour the bronze trophies are, so I can
He
go
knows.
and buy the correct... Well, no, I spoke to him. Well,
Yeah, he does know.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what's happened here, Tom?
basically, so
Break
when
it down
I
first.
went to the London GT and I came back with my trophy,
You did.
it was very wet.
The bronze one.
Yes.
It was.
It wasn't bronze, so I had to respray it gold, and then I had to
Did you,
wash it.
did you give yourself a first place trophy?
I've got another one that's legitimately a first place trophy. So I want a full collection.
Nice.
So I washed it brown.
Yeah.
And now it kind of just looks like a mess. So I've been able to get hold of one of these trophies because Brad won a bronze trophy.
Oh, congratulations to Brad. I got to say,
Find
number
out,
one, that's
yeah.
very Games Workshop. Like, well done. I mean, it's just sad that you didn't have
Well.
to cut it out.
Yeah, they give it you on the sprue.
If Games Workshop, we know that you're always listening to us. So let me tell you that something you should clearly do: get your design department to design a trophy that you flat. That's what they imagine.
Yeah.
That's what they gave out as a trophy: a flat pack trophy that you can build yourself.
That'd be very...
Yeah.
I mean, for hobby awards, that might make sense.
But for all awards, that would just be absolutely the cream of the crop.
It's like a meta joke.
It's a full meta
like-
joke for their own tournament. They're like, "Here's your trophy. Build it yourself." Like, and they could design like
You can
one
build
that
and paint it in, then you decide what your trophy is.
Yeah.
You decide what you're winning.
You decide what colour you want it to be.
And it could have really broken rules in the game. It could be like a fortification.
I don't know, I feel like that's pay to win, because if you win once and you just win all.
You could use it in a narrative setting, maybe. Or-
It's got power levels.
Yeah, or
There you
something.
go.
But I feel like they should be designing one. They surely that's. I've just thought of that. Having spent 2 years there, I feel like it's just come to us. That would be smart, right?
That'd be funny.
That would be very funny. Very funny.
I
I'd see
feel like
what
you
the
might lose the novelty quite quickly.
Yeah, we'll see what the Twitch chat say. Kudo Cabbage has subscribed for 15 months in a row, so I wanted to say thank you to him and his big dick energy.
Cheers, Colonel.
Evening, gents. Looking forward to seeing Rob and Nikos looking a bit smug about the Eldar and Yunari changes, although I'm a dark Eldar player and I'm quite happy with them.
I've been playing Orcs for 6 months, I'm alright.
Okay, all right, good. You're now an Orc player.
Also, craft worlds are still fine.
Yeah, they are fine.
Yeah.
Is it still nice weather in the UK? It's lovely.
It's really
Right.
good.
Well,
as
they
far as
rained a bit
it's
earlier.
concerned,
Herminister, hello. Carmack, sup. DeBolt, evening. He actually says evening dicks. Seems fair. But it is ladies' night,
The only
so...
reason he's here is for the dicks.
Anyway,
Sunny
everyone's
says,
here.
hey kids. He is very excited at the minute, as you can imagine,
Alright.
because of the SNES release. And he's got his own new Twitter design done by Tristan, our other channel
Who's
mod.
this, sorry?
Sneeze in the chat, one of our mods.
He's been hammering on the Twitter. Quite
Custodian's bikes are back, baby, says Chapter Master Valrak.
Someone's been on competitive 40k.
I don't know if they've ever left.
They're always pretty good, right?
They're always pretty good.
They're good when the meta suits them, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Grats to Nikos for whooping me on Fridays, her minister. Was that?
Practice game.
Okay, phew.
You play
I mean,
practice
look, if what you do in your personal time's your thing.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Good. A Flamer Farmer says Harlequins are back, kind of. We'll talk about that later. Alt Boy Phil, so will 40k ever be as good as AOS? Question to the two 40k hosts.
I don't play AOS, so...
So yes, is that for you, a yes from you, Tom?
I don't know. I'll have to play some AOS to find out.
I'm sorry, this is like a Senate judiciary meeting. I'm gonna need a yes or a no answer, Mr. Barr.
Yes.
That's a really fun.
You're taking me to the AOS team event, by the way, and I'm going to play my first 5 games.
No problem.
At that event.
It's easy. There's an army called Flesh Eater Corpse, which, based on the stats, you don't even need to know how to use.
You don't even need to be at the table. You can just leave it unattended and it'll win the
What was
game.
this about AOS being better than 40k?
There's a question from the chat. Nikos, yes or no? I'm going to push you for an answer. Please deliver.
To answer that question, I'd need more time to think and research.
Nice, a very political answer.
That's not a yes or a no. You can't.
Yeah,
do
but
that.
that's what they do.
You can't
That's
do
what,
it to me,
that's
but
what-
not him. Did you
I
threaten to
I don't
I give
recall.
up the rest of my time.
Did you
I
threaten
don't
to
recall.
overrule him? Did you threaten to overrule
I don't recall.
I don't recall. Treeline says, I just want to support the channel. I have loved listening to your podcast, Rob. I want to say thanks. Oh, man. Thanks.
Oh, awesome.
I'm very lucky, actually, to be able to do this. And because of that, I want to say thank you to everyone on Patreon and Twitch. And Treeland and everyone who's Charles, who's just become a grot overlord on the channel. So you guys are wonderful. So I wouldn't be able to do it, number one, without the support of everyone who watches, and also I wouldn't be able to do it without the support of my wonderful co-hosts. So thank you. LOV, one of them in the chat doing our stat shows, and obviously Mr. Nathan Prescott, John. There's an Australian guy who does some of our
There's an
shows.
Australian man who plays this game.
Yeah, well, have you not watched the Australian Age of Sigmar show?
Yes.
He's funny. He is funny. Old dispossessed dad. Colonel Cabbage, we can play in Games Workshop for lots of things, but I'm not sure disorganisation at last year's LGT is one of them, says Colonel
I
Cabbage.
think that's fair.
I think that is fair. Papine says, all right. Red Wild Rob says, hey squad. Flukeslop says, hey, what up? And I've missed a lot of people saying hello, but I just want to say hi to everyone and get on with it. Nikos, you're a politician now, asks Sir Flukes a lot. Don't forget he's northern and he hates politicians.
I've not fully considered my position on what my job is, or maybe in the future.
You're not a politician. You're just standing up for the people.
I'm standing up for everybody who needs me to stand up for them.
Very fine people on both sides.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody's great.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Right. A blind monkey having a stroke could play new FEC, says Collaroo.
Well, I mean, a blind
It's
monkey
true.
having a stroke could probably beat me as well. So
That's no way to talk about the lead developer for Age of Sigmar. Nikos, Australian live from Canada, says Oliver. He has identity crisis. Nikos, confirmed politician. Good. So those are the two subjects we're going to cover: the 40k FAQ and the team tournament, which both of you attended with two different teams. Nikos, your team was gold.
James Workshop.
Tom, your team was gold.
purple nasties don't go and search that up, please.
Is that why you've got that shirt on?
No, I
it's
got
a
it
per-
on because it's the only one that's close to ironed.
Oh, I thought it was because it was a nasty purple shirt.
How dare you? well, I mean, if you insist, I can take it off.
Taking it off.
Please stop. Please stop.
Monka TOS.
Right, good. We're all good. Everyone's caught up. Twitch chat, you guys are wonderful. If you're on Facebook and if you're on YouTube watching it back, leave some comments. If you're watching live on YouTube, jump over onto Twitch if you can. If you're watching on Facebook, maybe leave a love heart or a hilarious comment, which probably in 3 to 7 working days I'll hit with a like. And when that finally comes up into your notifications panel, you can be like, oh yeah, I watched that for 2 minutes and that was fine. So thank you. And if you listen to the podcast, obviously, just fucking, it's really difficult, I know, walking around with your massive balls that you just walk
In a
around
wheelbarrow.
with.
Yeah, just get a wheelbarrow.
Just get a wheelbarrow. It's
better for your knees.
Yeah, while you're wearing your shades, hiding from all the wonderful people that want to touch you. Just be aware that you guys are great. Right, so 40k FAQ time. Yeah. First off, were you guys excited that they did one?
Yeah.
I was surprised.
And it
At
was
this
April,
stage,
so
It'd been so long, I just thought they'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
and it happened on the Monday, which meant that I actually had some time to
So can I tell you a personal story?
Yeah.
So one of my close personal friends, and I don't want to get into too much, but he had a bit of an emotional crisis a few years ago involving a loved partner, and he overcome it brilliantly, and he's in an incredible place now, and I'm super proud of him. He did really well, but he was depressed, and he ended up going and seeing a psychiatrist, and also taking a lot of antidepressants, which meant he couldn't ejaculate when he had sex or when he was even home alone, which is terrible. Now, I don't think that experience lasted for too long, but it basically is how I felt about 40k for the past 2 months.
You just did the entire paragraph for saying I was blue ball.
Yeah, I had 40k blue balls.
All right.
With it now out, do you feel like a new lease of life into 40k? We'll get into the details in a minute, but like overall, like how do you feel with it finally, with the pressure off? You know,
I mean, clearly from last week, I think I was a little bit frustrated because we were waiting for it to do the Six Nations or the Home Nations Championship and maybe ETC going into it, and just kind of like, come on, if it's going to be massive changes, I need to know about it. And there's a lot of obviously changes in this thing, which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, are probably going to be massive, but they don't actually change all too much. It's mainly, I've used the example quite a lot when talking to people about being like taking a pumice stone to your foot, and you're taking off all the kind of rough bits, and then just left the whole thing intact. What do you mean?
We all know that walks a lot.
Do you want to see my feet?
No, I've never.
No.
Do you know that the new way of dealing with that is you go and put your feet in the fish?
I tried to. So in Meadowhall, they used to have one of those.
Meadowhall, by the way, an
It's a big
archaic
shopping centre,
wizard's palace that they have inside of Derby or Sheffield.
It's just off junction 34 on the M1 in the northeast Sheffield, so nowhere near Derby.
Where they sell two different things: pumice stones, a type of stone you use to holistically heal your foot scars,
and health potions,
and also a pot of fish that you can put your feet into. Continue the story.
They don't sell 40k more anymore. So they used to have like a fish palace place where you could stick your feet in, and the fish would eat your dead skin. Now I just use Games Workshop pliers on my feet.
You could have used the fish analogy. I think that's better than a pumice stone.
Yeah, is the fish? I don't know if the fish was all over the world.
I don't know if you feel smooth after you've done the fish, though.
Have you done the fish?
No, have you done the fish?
I've never done the fish.
Have you done the fish?
I'll tell you why.
Has anyone in the chat done the fish?
Is anyone here intentionally walked into a shop, usually manned by some Asian people, Chinese of that variety? I wish that they would more like self-identify more, because Asia's
what
big.
are you?
Yeah, it's like I'm Asian. It's like fuck, which one? Indian? Like where are you from? Piranhas also do it. They banned the fish things because they were gross, says Carmack.
Did they?
Apparently. Okay. Hi Yazfest, by the way. They delayed the FAQ because of Adepticon, says Colonel Cabbage, but
because
they delayed it because of Adepticon last year. Why don't they just move it until after Adepticon? Question mark. Or have they yet to notice it's on every year?
Wait, this thing's every year?
Every year! I can't
year
wait
you
for
guys
next year
do
for them to be like, guys, just
FYI,
FYI, fucking Adepticon's happening.
Adepticon has a really weird pack, even by weird pack standards, compared to 40k.
No.
Why not just ignore Adepticon?
Maybe they've got quite like a male. They've got quite a male-centric managerial staff, and as we all know, we're terrible at remembering anniversaries. I don't want to like pigeonhole us as a group, but I don't.
You don't want to stereotype all gamers.
And as men. And for the ladies out there listening, we're sorry that we are, but maybe they just forget. Maybe it comes around every year, and they're like, I
wonder why it was called Adepticon 2018. That's a weird name.
Right. Chris United says, this is incredible. I never come for the 40k chat. All right, let's talk 40k. Right, okay, so sorry.
We've had fish.
But overall, you guys are happy it's here, and you feel that it's Broven. I've told you I haven't spoken much today. Do you feel it's breathed new life into 40k for you on a personal level? And question to the Twitch chat also.
Personally, it hasn't billowed loads of air into my.
That's better, thank you.
40k
Appreciate
life.
that. Yeah, wafted.
It's fanned the flames a little bit.
All right, nice, good, yeah.
Because I played quite a lot of combat armies, and the fact that planes could stop you moving was annoying and stupid to me. So now they're still going to block areas on the board for like deep striking, and if you can't move all the way past them, you're still going to get blocked. But at least you can run under them, which is nice.
Tom, has it put a spring in your step?
So it's more like it's taken the weight off my chest with regards to just waiting for it. That's pretty much it. Because obviously playing competitively, that's just not just necessarily the content of it, just the fact that it's here. It's like, yes, finally. Okay,
Yeah.
now I know what position we're going to be in for the next 6 months. Yeah. And going through it, it really does feel like most of what this is just to stop you from feeling like you're fighting with the game, or taking away things that are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it does feel like it's much more of a smooth product. I do think this FAQ does a lot of good. There's
So-
a couple of weird ones, which I'm
There are.
sure we can go into. But
All right, good.
vast majority of it, brilliant. Love
All
it.
right, so I will say that we will judge this. We will judge the game based on the metrics set by Games Workshop as opposed to our own metric, which is the easiest way always, as a judgment call at the end when we give it a 10 out of 10. I, for one, actually think that this is an amazing FAQ before we get into like the nitty gritty of it, mainly because it isn't a clusterfuck. So comparatively, compared to the other FAQs that they have done, this is exceptional, bordering on near genius. So to give credit to where credit's
Near
but
genius.
that is
really
yeah,
good.
but that's in comparison to what I only describe as drunken idiocy in previous FAQs. The mad rumblings of lunatic on spice, which is a particular drug that we have over here in the UK that
Yes.
they drink. They have a lot in Mansfield.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So while that's where they were before, now they've turned up in like a suit. They've rehabilitated. They've got a job.
Shaved.
Yeah, they've shaved. Yeah, they're like, hey, I'm working off my debts slowly. I've set up a payment plan. I'm like, well done. I feel genuinely positive.
I mean, I feel like the entire how all of the FAQs have affected the game thing is a different debate, but in isolation, this is definitely fantastic.
Yes, there we go. All right, so bought Balance the Force. Just seeing what the Twitch chat's saying. They're going to catch up with us. They're good. So the FAQ, let's go into it. Let's do it.
Are we going to start with the big FAQ? Sorry, the designer's commentary.
We
being
are
Warhammer
gonna-
40,000
Oh yeah,
updates
sorry,
and
I was
everything
just
like
talking about the metric. So Games Workshop stated in their initial policy, which they probably should update at this stage, because I feel like very much like some of the things that we've done on our show over the past 2 years, we've moved on a little bit in some ways. They should understand that something that they said that they were going to do 2 years ago is not what they're now doing, and they should, I would hope, listen to this and then constructively go, yeah, maybe we should say what our policies are. Because their initial metric was that when they do big FAQs, they'd said, and you can go back and look on their community site where it will say what it said before, when they announced what they're going to do, is that it's going to be an attempt to rebalance the game and fix any problems that currently exist. That's their own metric. So they've released this, as far as I'm aware, with that metric still in mind. So we'll be judging that at the end. Does that seem fair?
Yep, and if anyone wants to follow along while we're doing this, you can go to https://www.warhammercommunity.com/FAQs to follow along at home. Good content.
Did you just read out a URL?
I did just read out a
I've never
URL.
heard of that in my... Someone like, hold on.
And here's an FAQ,
Someone just scrub it back on the...
Yeah. let me rewind and play that in slow motion so I can actually type that in.
It's not like we could put a link on the screen going,
No, or you could just go to the community site and
Google
click the FAQ link. Yeah,
That-
any of
Google.
those.
Don't search Big 3.
Big 3.
Search Big 3.
Big 3.
Search Big 3.
Search Big 3.
Okay.
Not
all
even
right.
FAQ, just Big
So,
3.
shall I start? Is that okay with you guys? Have you guys got it up?
Yeah. Oh, well,
I've got it
I've
up.
definitely got it up for this FAQ.
First sentence. There has never been a more exciting time to be playing Warhammer 40,000.
Exclamation mark.
Thoughts?
Are we really
True
just,
for me.
are we really just like dissecting this section?
No,
we
we're
have
not.
12 pages of big FAQ to do, and then all the other FAQs.
No, we're not
And
going
you're
to do
through.
all of the...
Do you think it's an exciting time to play
Yeah, we're not going to.
Warhammer 40K?
It's more going to be a top-down view. Okay. So realistically, what I do like about this is that there is a lot of explaining why.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to say congratulations and thank you to Games Workshop. Whoever's decision it was, you guys are hitting the nail on the head. What I would like to hear is what you're doing and why, even if the wobbly models one,
I think that's
straight
great.
off the bat, yeah, I agree, and I call them a fucking liar in the first one. Like, I understand it. Like, please don't try to gaslight me on your reason, because last time when it was, modelling, units that are charging that are up, that's really difficult, so we decided to take away the fly keyword. Okay, so wobbly...
It's okay, they put it back.
Yeah, they put it back. So
No, that was bad.
So while I understand them putting some reason, they can't just go, we made a fucking poor choice last time. I understand that. I still like that there's got some reason in there. Yours two's
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, just give you the fly keyword back and you're happy, I guess.
No, I just don't treat me like an idiot. Don't have a course of effect. Like, let me do a show on it every single time it comes out, and then expect me not to call you up online
that's
to
fair.
me. Like, someone who's new is like, oh, yeah, this makes loads of sense, but I was here last time. I read it last time.
We've been here for 6 months.
This
This is a long-term investment.
Yeah, don't bloody fib to me. But either way, wobbly model is really exciting. You guys happy about the sorting of wobbly model, or would
So-
you like to explain it in minutia?
I'm really happy with it. It just means that you can only wobbly models just to stop you from, like, if a model's likely to fall over, you can just say, oh, it's fair, it's fine. So the only times I've ever had it where a model is likely to fall over is when I'm using a Realm of Battle board.
Yes.
So
So does this mean
It's
that
meaningless.
if somebody's on a building on the roof
Yeah.
yeah,
and they're filling the entire roof, can I now charge them?
no, because you can't just dangle your model off the edge of a ruin.
So I can't say my model is climbing up the wall and fighting you.
No, I think it specifically says that you can. You don't have to. That's what my thoughts are.
Where does it say that?
Let's read it out, shall we? We've had several questions. Our intent for wobbly models should serve only as a hint or tip to prevent models from getting damaged should they be placed on a location where they would be in danger of falling over if the table was determined.
Nudge.
Oh dear. It was not
Take
intended
all the
to,
models off.
Yeah, it was not intended to be a rule that enables you to place them on a position where it could not otherwise physically be placed. No,
Like sideways on a wall.
Yeah, sideways on a
so
wall.
I could physically place a Corn Berserker on the wall if I had blue tack.
Well, no.
Well, this is the thing.
No, my point with this, in my opinion, is like if you were to have a square piece of roof, let's say, and half of it was taken up by, I don't know, pick a unit of any sort, and then I had Mortarian's a really good.
Looters.
Mortarian's a really good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a flying demon prince who's already taller than the building.
Yeah.
The concept that if I make the appropriate charge distance, however you judge that to be, I couldn't say half of his base is here. This is appropriate, like, and he's going to attack them. And if you were to say to me, I don't think that Mortarian his entire base doesn't fit on here, so you can't attack me. That would, as I understand it, it's just saying that you doesn't block stuff off.
There has to be a reasonable expectation that you can place a model, I think, is the criteria for that one, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
So if it's a big flat ruin, like, just because something's wider doesn't mean you can't dangle it on top of something.
Yeah, for
I
me,
could balance my
for
iPad,
me,
I
for
think.
me, what it feels like is that what they've done is taken out how they described it before, and now what they've just done is gone, this is the situation.
I did feel like it was heavily abusable beforehand, though.
Agreed.
People were just saying, "Oh, this model's here, okay," and it's just like dangling between two ruins. Like, have you shown you guys that picture of the ETC where we had Poland? We were playing our fifth round against Poland,
Yeah.
and they'd finished their game with their Gene Stealer cult player, and there were these two ruins on either side of the
Oh
board.
yeah, they were.
And we kind of like monkey chained them across the ruins, and saying, "Why is this not illegal?"
Yeah.
Emma X James says reasonable expectations, so massive grey area amongst biased gamers, and I agree with that as well.
Yeah,
What I think what they have done is taken out any sort of description, and now what can happen is two people can just have a conversation and agree.
Yeah, rather than someone going, actually, the rules say you can't.
Yeah,
think
exactly.
it's like,
Yeah.
That's been removed, and now at a tournament, a judge can come over, and can make a decision. Yeah, and that means that someone can't intend to abuse. Like, I can't turn up going, I intend to abuse the rule.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone's going to come over and make a fair enough assessment of this, which usually will stop abuse.
Yeah.
Not like in lower tables, because what'll happen is top gamers will just beat up on lower gamers. That's what happens. People who do quite well at tournaments are always people who are very self-sure of the rules, either because they know them very well or they talk very confidently. So those people normally do very well anyway. And then what happens is the other person won't go and get a judge. Yeah, but in this situation now, you've just removed that from the position. Do you disagree, Tom?
No, I don't disagree at all.
nice, okay.
It's just some foreshadowing for later.
Okay, nice. Oh dear. All right, so wobbly model syndrome. At the edge of the battlefield, they told us now that you can't have models not fully on the battlefield.
Apart from if you're in reserve.
Also, don't forget if you concede, you have lost the game.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
That's to be fair, if someone's asked that question,
key.
someone's tried it. So if there's a sign, it's probably there for a reason.
Nick, something I'm very glad that they finally put this in because they've destroyed you from doing this. Disembarking from destroyed transports and then charging.
I never did this.
I know you didn't, but I was making a gag. Go for it. What do you think?
I think it.
Oh, sorry, we should explain what it does. Do you want to tell people what it
So
is?
what you could do is you could have a Rhino with Corn Berserkers in, and you could give it a combi plasma, for example, and you could charge it at a unit. No, you could shoot. Well, no, this is actually, so you could either shoot the plasma gun intentionally at something with like -1 or 2, overcharge it, the destroy your rhino, and then you could charge from that position. Or you could charge your rhino at something and they kill it in Overwatch, and then you jump at the rhino and then charge from a closer position.
Yeah.
So they've just said you can't charge from a rhino that's
not reasonable.
None of that for you boys.
No, I never did it, but yeah, I think it's fine.
I think it's good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that helps my immersion.
Yeah, it does help with my immersion. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It seems cool. Although they did say, like, they were like, oh, they're too busy getting out of the flaming wreckage. Or personally, I quite like that concept of the kind of superhero explosion, and then like 5 corn berserkers come running through the fire to like.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
They just come running through the fire to murder, death, kill me. Like, that looks quite cool, but I think I prefer the fact that they're like kicking their way out and they'll wait a little
Stop,
bit.
dropping, and roll, and one's got a fire extinguisher out, spraying his mate.
It's like that new Flash Gets video
I'm not seeing it.
involving furries.
Not
Oh,
seeing
it's
it.
horrendous.
So everyone in the chat saying that they never did it either, but it was pretty exciting. But I think it adds to my immersion. And truth be told, I don't care either way. I've never tried to do it, and so I don't care about it now happening.
same.
So I'm fine.
I mean, I'm just curious that people were doing it.
Yes, I agree.
Clever.
Clever. I was like, oh, I wish I had thought of that. Right, next up.
Sneaky bastard.
So great choice, yes or no?
Yes. Great.
Great. Three greats.
Rob, do you want to do the next one?
Oh my god.
Cat control.
I know
yourself.
anyone asked me if I touched myself
to get
today,
a
and the
sandwich
answer would
bag?
be while I was reading through this. Moving units that can fly in the charge phase. Oh my
You
god.
can read out the intent. on
Oh
this
my
one.
god. This is, I don't really know how to describe this. Oh no, that's a terrible analogy that could cause some shit on the internet. I mean, having not made a terrible one already. I'm trying to think of something that I can equate this to.
What were you going to do? A spoiler for Endgame or Game of Thrones?
No, it's going to be about slavery, which is just probably not a good subject matter. But effectively, it's like learning that you should never have done something, and then you should change it back.
Yeah.
And that's what this is, because they should never have taken away the fly
I'm
keyword.
surprised you didn't go straight for Brexit, but
No, because they haven't fixed that. I don't really know how to. Anyway, I can't. It's just the best.
this is the pinnacle of changing something back again.
Huh?
This is the pinnacle of changing something
Yeah.
back again.
This is the best, and this is where we get to give them the full 7 Pants on Fires out of Pants on Fires rating of. Hey, by the way, there was some oddness about how you could about how far you. Sorry, what do they? I think they say unclear charge distances. Models excluded only because we believe most elegant. We intended to answer a common question that arose. Units that can fly were attempting to charge units atop a terrain feature or vice versa, and the charge roll that was required was genuinely ambiguous. Do you know what?
I don't think it was.
You know, if I was the rules designer for a game, things wouldn't be genuinely ambiguous to me. There would be an answer. Someone said to me, hey, how does this work? I'd give them the
So
answer.
if I had my Blood Angel Smash Captain on top of this frame,
Yeah.
and you had a model down here, and I'm just stood on top of a table trying to measure down,
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be the easiest thing to do, right?
I don't think,
That's
but
where
I
the
don't think it would be
ambiguity comes in.
genuinely ambiguous. I think it would be a rough. I'd be like about 8 inches. It wouldn't be like, man, that is. Are you saying?
1 to 12.
Yeah, but if I
somewhere in
maybe
there.
said it, maybe if I said it in French, wheat, de inches.
Wheat.
Wheat is 8, isn't it?
I mean, if you're rounding up to 8 inches, a lot of things become very, very big. I guess.
Isn't it wheat? What's it?
I can't remember now.
Un, deux, trois,
Quatre,
de
cinq, six.
wheat.
I don't know. I don't speak. I'm not going to say what. I
Oh
was
my
about to
god! Does anyone know how to? Mr. Kapowski says yes. Yeah, smashed
that,
it.
say. Fields of wheat.
It's fields of wheat. Anyway, while I really enjoy their
bullshittery.
the bullshittery. Most importantly, I don't care what words they use to justify it. They have made a great decision.
Yes.
Yes. How do you guys feel about? So the decision, by the way, is that units that can fly or have, most importantly, flip belts, when they charge in the charge phase, can move over a unit.
But not buildings.
But not buildings, no. No,
Units, but not buildings.
Units, not buildings. How do you guys feel about that change?
Yay.
Yeah, it's a sensible change. That,
So, question:
yeah.
if I am a flying bike and I can move across models
Yes.
of the buildings,
Yes.
can I charge for a ruin?
Drives through a ruin.
Is it a building?
Is it a model?
Is it a building?
Is it a model?
Is it a building?
Is it a
Every
model?
ruin has the building keyword
Does it? There you go.
in my tournament packs. Therefore,
In your tournament packs.
No.
I don't really know. I don't really know the scenery rules that well.
We'll have to do a rundown on scenery rules.
Yeah.
the worst of all of the rundowns.
I think we should make Nikos do it. We know how much he loves scenery.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars X32 says,
I love making it.
does that mean the Harlequins might see the light of day again, Rob? Probably not, because realistically, one of the things that they suffered to most was like, oh, hello, thank you for subscribing. It says, Nikos, you're my hero.
Yeah. Philud is also one of my heroes.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice. Mutual heroism. So ever since the Orc Codex, obviously, there's lots and lots of shooting designed to murder my Orky boys, and also to take out Gene Steelers, etc. And Harlequins suffer even worse in that environment than they previously did. Previously, there wasn't as much, I didn't think. Did you not?
Also, because you've got the Castellan nerf as well, I don't know if you need the bikers as much, because if Knights are dropping down a couple of tiers, you don't need the Haywire bikes, right?
No, and possibly the best book at the minute, the Tau book, the Haywire bikes are worse against.
I love how we're now calling the Tab book the best book.
Do
You're
we
not
not think?
wrong. No, you're right. Yes. But it's just great. I'm just thinking back.
I got it right, Nick.
I'm thinking back.
What did you think it was?
The Necrons.
I'm thinking back to January when I spent the entire LCO just running around looking at all the Tau lists.
You did. You
did.
did. Yeah, you've been talking about Tau for a while. I don't like when we watch Tank absolutely
El
batter.
Profito.
Yeah, back at the LCO.
Hashtag
Jane.
justice for Jane.
Yeah, hashtag justice for Jane. It was a great old game. But you're right. I don't think the Harlequins are in a particular because they're very overcosted.
I don't think Harlequins are in a bad position either, by the way. I did both.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Don't have. Oh wait, are you a politician now, Tom? Did you just give two
I
answers?
played both. I played both sides. Fingers in
Against
all
the middle.
colours.
Oh my god. Hey Groovy Greg, not got the show live for ages, really happy to tune in. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Secret Tower buff. So
Secret Tower.
So anyway, flying is back. That's great. So if you've got some jump pack Smash captains, they can return,
Dust them off.
but
Dust off your
generally
Harlequins.
anything. I think that's excellent. I think the change was well. Just go back and listen to how we felt about that change. Previously.
It stopped, like, it ruined my immersion that a flying guy can't fly over something.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a Custodian's jet bike guy can't charge over a grot.
It ruined my Shining Spears as well.
It did.
Lol JK just kill everyone.
Yeah. Well, no, you already went super fast. Did you mind?
You always just kill everybody. Yeah, no, not really. I mean, you just killed everyone anyway.
Well, so I'm very very pleased with this, and again, congratulations, Games Workshop.
Yep.
And I also feel very, in fact, hopeful, if I'm honest, that they actually have had the rank audacity to amend something that they broke.
Yeah.
I'm very.
And not just, like, buried it under the carpet and gone, la 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 la,
Yeah, no,
we're great, la la la.
No, it's fine.
There's no shit underneath the rug.
Yeah, yeah. It's like who farted in the room? They're like, I farted in the room. Yeah, because that's the mature
I'll
thing to
wind
do.
down my window. and
Yeah,
then
look,
close the
I
door.
did it. It's my fault,
Yeah.
and I apologise. But
That's not a big deal. Like.
no, well, no, I actually think that's excellent, and I think
Yeah.
it's really cool because, and I don't really care that there's a whole bunch of fluff, like there's a good bit of Phil Kelly narrative beforehand as to why
thought
they
you liked
changed
the Phil
something.
Kelly narrative.
I love Phil Kelly narrative. I just don't think that they needed to justify their rules change. They could have put, we did something silly, we're sorry, fix it back.
I think that is
Be
in
cool.
there at some point.
I don't think it is.
They say, on reflection, we believe they are right, and it certainly was not. Yeah, okay. There you go.
That's an apology, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, I
Upon,
suppose
upon reflection, other
you-
people
you've
are
been
right.
in a long-term relationship a while, Nick. I suppose you recognise that's the best apology you're probably going to get, right?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of married men just going, yeah, that's what an apology looks like when you're married for 12 years. I don't know if that's true. That's just jokes I've seen on the internet. No one loves me.
You can love Rob by sending £5 to our Patreon account.
If you'd like to enter our marriage tier on the Honest Wargamer,
Is there a marriage tier?
yeah, £2,000 a month and you can marry me.
Wow. It's cheap.
That is pretty cheap. Does that rise with
I
inflation?
think that's fine.
Does that rise with inflation?
How much would you want to get paid to be married to someone?
Well, I mean, in the year 2050, how much is £2,000 going to be worth?
Oh my God, have you not seen the climate change issues? We're going to be dead in 10 years. This is why I'm doing the Honest Wargamer, because we're all just having a laugh.
it's okay.
Look, everyone out there, sell your house, buy some toy soldiers, because let's just have fun for a couple
You
of
can
years.
float upon the plastic. It's fine. It's okay. I live on a hill. It's fine.
Meet us back on the menu, says Dude Our Day. Hi, Dude Our Day. Missed you. And then Colonel Cameron says, so you're telling me my line of grots can't block a Helldrake from charging a Wazdak bomber?
He needs 486 grots, is what he needs.
Oh, fuck. Mr. Cavassi, I thought it was Robin Crunance who put his name to the FAQ. It was. He's a lovely man, by the way, Robin Crunance. Lovely fella.
Sure is, never met him.
He's a real nice guy. Love the subtle digs at Win It All Across Gaming Bastards through the FAQ. Is there some? Says Bar on Saturday.
Did they
Hello,
flame me
James.
in this?
Frank. Pete.
That's Andy.
Andy. Fucking Andy.
Mate,
There you are.
If someone could point him out, I'd like to see if it... Also, Tom Layton is a dick.
Live WFB. Thank you for hosting us.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
What?
I've dug out my old 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle limited edition rulebook with a big brass cover.
Have you been?
All the
Is this
maps.
you? Are you live Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Tom?
It's cool. I'll play some Warhammer Fantasy Battle though. I'll be down for that.
I wouldn't. What you do is you pick up some dice and then you just roll 2 6s and you win the game.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as my army looks cool and cinematic and my rulebook gets to go.
Right.
It smells right nice.
Archeon says he lives on the hill, so it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then MMO Exchange says he's going to make me work for that $2,000. I wouldn't. I'm a terrible husband.
He also lives a little bit more inland as well, so he's fine.
Oh, who, James? Oh, no. I mean, we live in Nottingham. We're going to be as safe as possible.
Compared to Hull, yeah.
Plus, we can build ourselves. We can go to Games Workshop, just keep taking the sprues, and we can build ourselves a wall, a seawall of sprue.
We've got a castle here, bro.
Oh yeah, we can get in the
Go to
castle.
the castle.
Fucking. As we all know,
It's fine.
castles famously
Water
floodproof.
resistant.
Very what?
Floodproof.
Floodproof, yeah.
That's what the walls were designed for in original castles. Tom, did you know that?
Even Hillsborough got flooded. Not all castles are.
Is
flooded.
Hillsborough a castle?
Was when we were at home, mate. Wow.
Big Goldfish, hello. Hello to all of our viewers, by the way, who are watching. Thanks for watching. Dude Our Day, thanks for donating 100 bits, because Necrons are now 1% better.
They are.
There you are. So we are very happy with the fly keyword change in 40k.
Yes.
Sweet.
Ecstatic about it.
I am ecstatic. I think I've already shot my load. I'm just this general enthusiasm that you're witnessing
He's so smiley.
I am very smiley. I feel
People
really
just
good.
listening on the podcast.
Yeah,
he's
just
very
like, wow,
happy.
he's in a good mood. It's because, yes, my flip bolts now work, and I can now take a sub-tier army to flip bolt stuff.
And he's no longer blue ball.
Yes, and most importantly, I've got rid of my blue ball, so I can know what army I'm collecting in
All that
40k.
stress has been released.
Yeah. Next up,
Aircraft.
yes. So, previously, there's been an issue with planes in that they were flying around the 40k universe.
How dare they?
They were flying around and then stopping on the floor in front of people and then taking off again in the next turn and stopping again
Sounds
in
like
front of
something from
people.
Tiberium Sun.
Oh, is that what they do in Tiberian Sun?
I thought there was some aircraft in Tiberium Sun, but you just moved them somewhere and instead of hovering, they just went pew.
Oh, no, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay.
something else.
But however, so the issue is the base of a flying model, upon which is the classic Games Workshop flight stand, excellent piece of modelling kit there,
Yeah.
would stop because that base would be considered a model, and therefore you had to stop an inch away. If there were two bases lined up next to each other, you couldn't go past them, or as it's affectionately nicknamed, move blocking.
Yes.
And some people would take more than one plane. Some people would take 6.
Some people would take 7.
Some people would take 7.
Wow.
And one person took 9.
Damn it, Sid.
Really hoping there's someone out there like, that was me.
Sid took 8, I think, at Blood and Glory, as I must have seen.
Okay, maxes you've seen is 8, but effectively meant units couldn't move. And Nick, you played a combat army and played against a bit of quite a lot of planes. Did you find it impactful?
I've not played against loads of planes, but I have played against planes with a combat arm in it. It's just annoying that a plane flying around stops my guys on the floor moving past it.
You can still do it, right? Because you can't stand on top of the plane's base.
Right? What do you mean you can still do it?
So you can still block things reasonably.
Because so you got the width of the base
Yeah.
plus an inch either
As
side.
long as you
can't
can, as long as you can get past the base, you can move past
Which, when
it.
you've got a horde of 30 orcs, is tricky.
Yeah, but at least
It's
It's
still
some counterplay.
I'm
I'm not saying it's bad at all, by the way. I'm just saying it's not the be-all and end-all.
yeah. It's not like they're not there at all anymore. But and you can you can still, like, you could have, if you had a narrow corridor, you could have 4 planes in the corridor blocking that whole thing. Mm-hmm. But at least it does give combat armies a chance of getting past them, charging
Yeah, I agree.
Because I played a game against.
But with the addition of the fly keyword change, it also means that they can't you couldn't have like a big squibbly monster of any description that you wanted. like blocked by 2 planes, you're like, you can't fly over these now, and you can't charge over these. You're like, oh, what the fuck is that? So I think actually, like, I agree with Tom. I still think there's going to be some issues on the tabletop, but that's just going to come around to the fact that there's a base there, which is, like you say, still ruins the immersion a bit.
It's a big chunky base, but I don't know what you can do about that, because if you place them on top of a base, you might have a scenic base or whatever, and you've got to pick up your flyer and move it, and you've got to place that model that was on top of your base exactly where it was. It's just a bit tricky, really, isn't it?
So I think I have an answer. Put them all on square bases.
What, everything in 40k?
No, just the flyers.
Just the flyers.
Yeah, a square base.
How big is the square base?
Only the size of the stick that you put your flyer on.
Okay. But it's got to be immensely dense.
Yeah, it's
You know-
again,
so
another
it
modelling
doesn't fall
advantage for
over.
Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Thick as hell.
Do you know what I think? I think 40k gaming tables should look like a gearbox. So you just have them on big sticks,
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
and then
yeah.
you push them around the board, but they can only go in certain places because they're gearbox.
or like, you know, when you have to put like the square peg through the square hole.
Yeah.
There are just certain places you're allowed to put a flyer, and that's it.
I feel like there'll be a number of people trying to push square pegs through round holes.
That's a horrible way to describe the 40k community.
I
They're a
didn't say
lovely
that
group of
community, I
people.
said there might be a couple of people. There's always exceptions to the rule.
MX Jane says that the aircraft change doesn't really change much. Most units are too slow to clear an aircraft base anyway.
Or too big.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hermelissa sounds like Sparrow or Blue Tip, to be fair. I'm not sure what
Did someone say blue tip?
live Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Thanks for hosting. It says Tom taking advantage of cover save ? Maybe that's what we'll get onto later.
What have I done?
I don't know. You taking advantage of a cover save?
Have I? Okay.
Sure. Flaming
Tom
Farmer. I
involved
played
in
against
some
a 9.
controversy.
Huh?
I
Tom
know,
involved in some
shocking.
controversy.
Yeah, I played against a 9 flyer list once at a Battlefield Birmingham on a kill points
There you go.
mission.
Yeah.
That'll teach me for winning my first 2
Oh,
games.
right, because I'm falling behind. I'm falling behind this. That's why.
Oh, nice.
That makes sense.
All right, nice.
Got it.
9 flyers though.
Hog.
XT984 says if you have fly like a flying demon prince, you can just move to within 1 inch of a flyer in the movement phase and then hit it in the combat phase and not get overwatched.
Yes.
What, can you can finish within 1 inch?
So Storm Boy's buff.
Do you want to explain that to people?
So because you can
Says-
now place units within 1 inch of a flyer
Yeah.
in movement phase.
No, it says you cannot end it within 1 inch.
Yeah, you cannot.
No, of any enemy units. Whenever a model makes a kind of move, it can be moved within 1 inch of an aircraft and can be placed across such models. As if
But it cannot. But it cannot end the move within 1 inch.
Oh, of course, yeah. It can be moved
Gee.
within, but
Yeah.
it can't end its move there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Astral Park, 2 flyers will absolutely block an Orc Horde, so we agree with that. Jimmy1080 says if they had left it that you could move on the base, Gamey Gits would have just modelled spiky bits all over the base to create wobbly models.
Yeah.
I would have actually covered my base in springs. Yeah, and also a counter
Like
magnets.
catapults.
No, a mouse trap.
And then you stick the
Every time
catapult-
you put the fleet.
And then you stick your catapults in front of the infantry line, right?
Yeah.
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 What the hell? We'll talk about that later. That's more of a fantasy issue, though.
Well, yeah.
Fuck, screening with your cavalry.
And then throwing your screen. No way.
There's a great story on the Longwall podcast of Ron Crunch playing Juice, a guy on the podcast,
I know Juice.
and him witnessing the reality of his own rules, charging 0 vertically through floors and other exploits, rotating shields happening before shot allocation, etc. Juice said on the podcast, if they change the rules, that's on me. I showed him how the rules really work. True enough, next FAQ, that fly rule.
That's quite... No,
Yes.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
I would agree. I would say that's quite strong that a single man did it. But then, if you're a content creator, you really want people to think that you changed all of 40k, right? That's
well done for saying it.
Well done. It's okay, I'll say it. I ain't scared of no one. I'm just going to look directly in the camera. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. That's an amazing quote by an amazing comedian.
I'm already going to fight Nick when I go out.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. You don't even understand.
Nick Rose, not Nick Brown.
Who's Nick Rhodes?
We're going to have a fight. It's going
What?
to be great.
Warhammer fight?
No.
Fuck.
Nah, we're
You heard
chill.
it
We're
first.
chill. I talked to Nick quite
Nick,
a
who
bit.
are you fighting? Got any thoughts?
I'm gonna fight.
Because you punched that kid last time, so...
I'm gonna fight.
he needs to go up to his second fight. He's undefeated in MMA.
Although I really do think you got a bit of a buddy run on the first one.
Who am I
Has he
gonna
retired?
fight?
Have you retired?
Nah.
Oh, you're going to give a political answer and give no answer? Fuck.
I'll let my agent answer that later.
All right, nice, perfect.
In a press
Rob, you're
release.
his agent. Off you go.
Do you know it says put all flyers on clear plastic bases and ignore the whole base. Real flying things don't have bits of plastic holding them up in the air.
Oh, you know what you can
Or do
bruv?
they?
Bruv, you could
Agreed.
you could just use like a spider frame. You don't even need to have a full base.
A spider frame.
Yeah, so it's just like little legs poking out the bottom, so it holds it up.
You could just have
I'll draw a picture.
a frame above
Yeah,
the
you have
table.
I think more practical, like Nick says, is a frame that you have an
You erect the frame
you
every
erect the frame
game.
every time you want to play, and then you fly the plane across it
Just
via
dangle it.
strings.
Yeah, you have a string that
So it's like
attaches it to the
puppets.
frame.
Yeah, and then you got a pulley system.
It's a complex system of levers.
It's like a H. It's just a H frame. The
then you can attach a
vertical
camera
one
to it.
slides me down.
Yeah, and it can also be a streaming camera at the same time.
Yeah.
Every game is streamed.
But until you kill all the flyers, in which case then none of the game is streamed.
Well, you just so don't kill the flyers.
Chapter after Valorant gets it. It was Bernie Mac. Oh, thanks. I might make offhand weird jokes in the future and see if people can guess the comedian. Nick Rhodes from Duran Duran versus Tom and his hair in a fight. Big wow.
Proper
big
80s
hair
fight.
fights
It's
this dude
good.
our day.
Proper 80s.
Irish Monitor says, or use electromagnet so that the fire is actually floating up and you can move underneath it. Nice. And none of us have to worry about anything to do with getting any sort of cancer from them because the world's ending because of climate change, so that's fine.
Yeah.
That's good. Very nice.
All right, that's a nice thought. For the
I hope
day,
you guys
isn't
are
it?
having a great day. Whatever you
So
do,
nice
don't forget
thought,
to
isn't
eat
it?
your guava juice and hydrate really
Eat
well.
your guava juice.
Yes. Have you ever had guava juice? It's
I don't know
gross.
what guava juice
It's
is.
really bitty. It's gross. Anyway, moving on. So we're happy with the fly keychain. Oh no, the aircraft. So now they've changed it so that basically there's a whole bunch of words, but anything that effectively is a flying unit, a supersonic unit, and has a minimum move distance is now an aircraft. An aircraft you can move within 1 inch
Question.
of. Yeah.
When you get to your bottom damage stat on some aircraft, it has a maximum move but no minimum move.
No, it doesn't then not become an aircraft.
Bollocks.
Because it gains the aircraft keyword at the start of the battle. They
Yeah.
didn't leave that in, Tom, but let's pretend that they did. Next, so that's what do we? So we're happy with move blocking taking a bit of a hit.
Not as happy as I am with
Yes,
the next
I'm
FAQ.
very happy.
You're very happy, and you're not as happy as you are
I
gonna be.
love this FAQ.
Okay, all right, nice. Colonel Cabbage has got a question quickly. Don't take my description as gospel. I'm writing from memory and cut it down to make it really one stream. Can't vouch for its veracity, but it's interesting. Worth listening to. There you go. MHJs don't even lose the aircraft rule if you didn't. You don't even lose the aircraft rule if you hover, which is true. But it does say that in there, right? And Scrivo says I'm broken. What the hell?
Oh.
Sorry, Scrivo. Setting up models.
Resetting
Yeah.
up models.
Resetting up models.
Resetting up.
This is
8
great.
points that all basically say this. If you take a unit off the board that has previously been placed on the board and put it somewhere else, then you can charge, and that's all you can fucking do. Live with it. Done.
Also, you count as reinforcements.
Yes.
Also,
So you can be auspex scanned
Yeah, that's important.
or forewarned.
so here's the thing. If you take a unit off a board, as in something like a Tide of Traitors or Unstoppable Green Tide, you lose your detachment rules. So if I take a unit of boys off
Yep.
and put them back on, they count as a new unit, they don't have objectives secured anymore.
Is that what that says?
It's based in something else, though, right? So there's another one where it says if you add a unit to your army, it doesn't it doesn't count as part of any detachment.
If you add a unit to your army,
Yes.
but this isn't a summoned unit.
So points 5 to 8. Note the points 5 to 8 do not apply to a unit that is set up by the sustained assault rule. Any unit that has been added to your army during a battle and has been set up, such as via summoning or with Unstoppable Green Tide, Tide of Traitors. These stratagems represent new units joining the fight rather than the existing units being repositioned on the battlefield.
So they're new units not inside of your
So,
battalion.
Yeah, 5 to 8 include the rule which says any units that were any rules that unit was being affected by when it was removed and which will continue to affect it for a specific duration. So abilities, stratagems, psychic powers.
Yeah.
They keep them when they normally jump across, right?
Yeah.
But those stratagems are exempt, meaning you lose all the additional rules you would have got, including objective secure, because you don't count as part of any detachment.
So if I green tied my unit of orcs from pick a clan,
Yes.
yeah, when I do green tide them, they're no longer part of
Yes,
that clan.
because you re-add them to your army.
Yeah.
You're adding a new unit to your army. It doesn't count as part of any detachment. Because it's not part of any detachment, it doesn't gain the objective secured rule, because that's a detachment rule.
And does it also gain? It doesn't gain the keyword of being like
Surely you give
evil
it a
sons.
keyword. Surely you keep keyword like.
You'd be
evil
able to give it a
sons.
keyword because it's got the keyword whatever, but it won't
Right.
get the traits for being that keyword.
It doesn't get the. It doesn't.
won't
So,
get the
so I
trait.
wouldn't get +1 charge.
Right.
Are you sure?
Certain.
Because I would have the keyword.
Yeah, well, you'd have the keyword, but you wouldn't be in a detachment of that keyword.
But stratagems don't need to be used. Like if I have the
No, so
keyword.
you can use a stratagem, but you don't get the benefits of being in the detachment.
Okay, but like if
So-
I have if I have +1 to charge from which clan is it again?
Evil
Evil
Sons.
Sons.
If I have so if I'm in Evil Sons and I got +1 to charge, I green tide them and I land. Yeah. Then I still have the Evil Sons keyword,
Yes, so you can use a stratagem on them,
but
but you don't get the +1 to move, advance, and charge because you're not in an Evil Sons detachment.
okay, nice. Yeah. Right. Okay. Wouldn't that make the jump fucking worthless? Says Conroy.
That's not the jump, so the jump isn't affected by that.
It's because at the bottom of this particular FAQ, there are, as Tom read out, a bunch of stratagems that specifically are being targeted.
Exempt,
In this.
yeah.
So this would be fresh converts, tide of traitors, unstoppable green tide, more where they came from, send in the next wave, and endless swarm from Tyranids.
Endless
So that's swim. So that's
Swim.
specifically only those stratagems.
And
So
that's only for points 5 through 8.
Yes.
So 1 through 4 still affected, but
yeah. So there you go. So that's cool. That's a very odd.
Yeah.
but it's worth bearing in mind.
It is worth bearing in mind. What other rules are they stopping happening?
So it's other things like so what people were saying was there was an FAQ which said when you reset up a model, it loses benefits from stratagems, right? So what people were saying is, well, if I've got a Death Company Smash Captain,
Yeah.
and I've spent the CP at the start of the game to give it Death Company,
Yeah.
if I then use Upon Angel's Wings to redeploy that unit, it loses that stratagem, and therefore it's no longer Death Company.
Because it was put back on the board.
Right.
Right, okay. So now it's been changed. All right, nice.
By point 8.
All right, nice. Cool. There you go. Fine. It doesn't stress me out at all in any way.
No, but it's one of those little nuanced things that you need to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Especially as, I mean, some of them were fairly Tide of Traitors. Like, obviously, we've seen that be nerfed several times now. But Unstoppable Green Tide was one that was used very often by all three of the gentlemen on this show. So, cool. All right, nice.
I didn't read any of the next bits.
You didn't read any of the next.
Well, it just says organised event guidelines.
Basically says demon princes from all the different factions is one data sheet. So you can't have 3 Chaos Marine demon princes and 3 demon princes and then 3 Death Card demon princes.
Yeah.
All demon prince data slates are the same, so you can then have 3 in matched play. And it's the same for heavy weapon squads from like Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Like in G Cults, I think they could have.
You can have
takes,
3
they could have.
of those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And Lehman Russ and things like that as well.
Okay. And then you've got.
It seems like fine. Like, I'm not particularly stressed by this either. I don't think I was stressed before. I quite liked all the demon princes in army. I thought that looked quite cool.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit sad that the rule of the 3 ever had to come in. Realistically, I think that's because they have a really poor way of actually having people design armies. So the rule of 3 is basically, so they've got detachments. That's what they got. They're like, we've got detachments. That's how you build armies. They're like, cool. Yeah, and they're like, oh, you guys keep taking the same thing.
You took 10 flying hive turrets.
Yeah, you guys keep doing that. No, only 3 of those things. Okay, cool. But people still just like now that, and there's also soup. So soup's an issue. Command point farming's an issue. There's an entire variety of things that are an issue that are to do with how you construct armies in 40k. Yeah, which you don't have in other game systems.
I still think it's better than it would have been if people had allowed me to continue having 10 flying hive tyrants.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, listen, I agree with the rule of 3 change. I really liked it, and I also like the change here as well. Realistically, I really like that. But I think these are stickers on a leaky
They're
ship.
plasters.
Yeah, as opposed to, I mean, stickers. It's quite funny. That ship's leaking. Get the stickers.
Get the flex tape.
But I think it's a ground up problem that I think we can all see that where because I mean people complain about soup all the time, right? I actually narratively love that.
I've never complained about. I love soup.
Okay, all right.
I only see people on the internet whining.
All right. Well, I personally really like it from a narrative standpoint.
There you
Yeah, absolutely. But it does then mean that you get some incredibly pigeonholed armies. I think you see some armies not taken at all, just because, like, that's why the guardsmen are always there. That's why they're there. They're there for command points. They're not there because they're guardsmen. And I feel that you're detracting from them in their role in the universe. Narratively,
You're detracting from how important these individual guardsmen.
Well, specifically how very important 32 men are. Yeah, when normally they would have millions in an Imperial Guard army in an engagement, right? Yeah. If you see one Imperial Knight, you would probably see millions of guardsmen. That's the kind of like. That's what the guys from the Corps are saying to me. You know, when they're what's the logistics guys. Just make it so you can use strats from the Warlords attachment, says Viking DX. Tomb King Tristan, another mod in the chat, says, I can't believe how much I hate writing 40k lists now, says Tomb King Tristan.
Why are you writing him?
Use
Battlescribe.
Battlescribe, baby.
Battlescribe.
There we go, we got his problem solved.
We should probably start every single show with, hello, welcome to 40k Thursdays.
Sponsored by
Yeah, we're not even sponsored by them, just use it.
Just use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 40k all the way says, if only they would have extended that last ruling to Eldar flyers.
Which are last ruling?
The rule of 3.
Rule 3, yeah.
They did. Unfortunately, I have so many good flyers.
Not all of them are good flyers.
Yes, so many good flyers.
Maximum good flyers, in fact.
We could have 15 flyers.
Maximum good flyers. Nick, I'm going to let you let you know this, but one of the best men in the world has just subscribed for 14 months in a row.
Is it me?
No, 10 months in a row. I'll let you have a guess who it is.
Dude,
He is great. Keep going, because everyone who you say will make you feel great. Who else is great? You love him and it.
Oh, is it?
Chris.
No, it's evil, pure evil.
It's not even pure evil. It's the thing you love most, Dick.
Oh, Dick. Oh, Dionysus.
Dionysus subscribed for 10 months. So thank you, Dionysus.
Dick is pretty great.
Pardon, Dickie. Yeah. Irishman Tor wants to know, Infiltrators rules only effective reinforcements. Green Tide did not count. Oh, they're having a personal chat, which is good. Right.
They're still breaking down that thing from Vic. That's cool.
So,
I like that.
Yeah, so the rule of 3 thing. We good with that?
What rule of 3 thing?
Well, they just tidied up the rule of
They've
3.
tidied up the rule of 3, basically.
Oh, yeah, fine.
They've used a pumice stone to scrape off some of the dead
There
skin.
you go. They got a couple of the fish onto the game system. Nice. Throwback. Next up, and I know Nick really likes saying this, so I'm going to let Nick talk about it.
This is, you can't beat a better bottle rules.
Tom, your attempt.
Say the tongue twister.
No.
Try the tongue twister.
It's not even a tongue
thing
twister.
until about half a minute ago.
You can't beat a better bottle rules.
You can't beat a better bit.
You can't beat a bit of beta bolter rules, but you have to say it as quick as
I'm
you
not
can.
doing that.
Beat a better bottle, but
Can't beat a better bottle
Why are you
rules.
sounding Irish? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Beat a bit of
You can't beat a better bottle rules.
You can't beat a better bottle
So
rules. It's
talking about
actually
the
easier Irish, I think.
Yeah, talking about the beat a better bottle rules. Nick, do you want to tell us what this is?
Well, so the beta bolter rules
Yes, please.
were
Beta beta. It's the same
The beta
word
beta
twice,
bolter rules.
Bruno.
Diagnosis, these are new mics. How's it all sounding? I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah. So they introduced a new beta rule for bolters for Space Marines
To make 'em
and
better.
Chaos Space Marines. Yeah, to make them better. So you could rapid fire if you were at half distance as usual, or if you stood still at full range. And also you could do this if you were just a Terminator, biker, Centurion, and a vehicle.
Or a
But now they've limited it to Terminators, bikers, Centurions, Dreadnoughts, and Hellbrutes. So not like
No more
Land
vehicles.
Raiders
Dark
and all that.
Talons.
Yeah, stuff like that. And it's just all bolters for Marines. And they've clarified that it's just for Marines, not for like a Guardsman commander who's got a bolter as
It's
well.
also important to clarify that the Death Watch they can't use it with special ammunition.
Yes, yeah, that was a good
Surrendering,
change. So Death Watch can't use. They have to choose are they going to choose the beta bolter rules or their special ammunition bolter rules?
Yeah, I mean, it was a problem they could not have seen. They could have not foreseen, right?
No.
They have a Space Marine chapter designed specifically around having incredibly good bolters, and then they buffed all bolters, and then they were like, "Wait, are you using these together?"
I love how we've got have you seen this? They've got a paragraph specifically after this telling Custodian Sisters of Battle players to go away.
What I really want is
Brilliant.
is I want surely the reaction, the Pikachu shocked reaction. That is just the rules writers in minutia. Like someone goes, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to use my Deathwatch special rules and the beta rules," and they're like,
They fixed it, okay? They fixed it.
"No, they have fixed it. They have fixed it."
You what, mate?
I think what they should do before they put out new anything is they should just ring someone and go, "Hey, I'm going to do this," and someone goes, "Have you heard about Deathwatch?" And they're like, "Fuck,
Deathwatch.
Deathwatch." And then Irish Minotaur says, "This is huge. Deathwatch, 2018 to 2019, RIP."
No, Deathwatch still good.
Yeah, I agreed. I just think now they've got to choose which type of good they're going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At a time.
yeah. They were good. They were good before the beta bolter rule.
Yeah. They're going to be good after the beta bolter rule as well.
Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah.
And then Viking DX says, "Yes, nerf Imperium." He's all about that. And then .com, they removed it from all vehicles just when they needed to remove it from Hurricane Bolters. I agree, because it's only really Hurricane Bolters that is the huge issue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But
What?
they did also clarify that Custodies don't get to use it,
And Sisters of Battle.
and Sisters of Battle don't use it. So this is
Marines.
just Marines.
Just Marines.
Just Marines. Yeah, this is a big buff for those Marines. So if you collect Marines, are you a new player? Do you want your bolters to do more?
Do you just like hurting
Yes.
yourself? Then play Marines.
Then play Marines. You can sit in cover and you can fire loads of strength 4 shots at people and fuck anyone who says something different.
Yes.
Okay, good. Solid. Well done. I am fine with this. As someone who doesn't want to get my shot by bolters with 2 of my armies, I heavily care that this rule was implemented.
2 of my 20 armies.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yes. Am I bothered? I was just thinking about my mechanical army. I don't want my Harlequins to get shot by them. I don't want my orcs to get shot by the bolters. Bolters are already way better now, so that's good. Am I going to see lots of bolters? Not really. And the Custodians bite bolters already just smash me to pieces anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm not stressed.
I may not affect Custodians.
No, they don't. What I'm saying is the Custodians biker bolters are already just...
Custody Biker Bolter.
Yeah, Custody biker bolter.
It's not even a tongue twister.
Go on, you try it. One more
Custody
time.
Biker Bolter.
Custody biker bolter. Nailed it. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, thanks. What about a custodian? Oh. So, good changes or bad changes?
Good
changes.
changes. We
Yay.
haven't come across a bad change yet.
Excellent. If you're a Deathwatch player, you're still a good army, don't worry. Yeah, because no one
right.
understands how your army works. So you have that natural advantage over everyone. You can just keep saying, I get to reroll 1s, and also I wound on 2s, and also I've decided now that I'm choosing this tactic, and you're fucked.
I can double move.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I'm going to remove... What makes me laugh is when I shoot a Deathwatch unit and they go, I'm going to remove this biker. And you're like, oh. But they're like, yeah, that's a real tactical choice. I've made a smart move there. And I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? Do I want them all to die? Tom, sorry, you got a point?
No. I'm just looking for something. No worries.
Well, I'll see how shall I see how the chat is?
So how is the chat, Rob?
I'll ask him how they are. I'm excited for them all. Killer Cabin says, well, if they're going to nerf Jinx and Doom, they got to nerf bolted rules, not fair otherwise. That's fair. I've never really had a moment when I went 24-inch rapid fire Hurricane bolters were that scary, says Star Wars X 32. Although I did at the Heat play against 2 Fire Raptors for 1,000 Suns. Don't think that they were taking advantage of the bolters. I don't.
They probably
Was
just
it out
they
at
probably
the
just
time?
had a load.
It was out at the time. I don't remember. He did a lot of fucking shooting. It was a lot. But it was fine because I had orcs, so you can't. The Dino says, will you begin playing with the Harleys again, Rob? No, because they're rubbish. Still. If they get cheaper, maybe they're good. Some Shadow Seers, some Death Jesters. I might go to some max characters.
Pew.
Pew pew.
Sim troops.
Yeah. My juice got like this change, says Emma James. They are slightly sad about no orders thing.
Yeah.
Colliery says,
That's
as
a
a
big
relatively new player with not new but very non-competitive friends that think he says Smurfs, and if you people don't know what that means out there, some people refer to
Ultramarines.
Ultramarines as Smurfs.
Because they're blue.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Deep humour.
I had a very dark joke, so I'm going to move on.
We'll tell us later.
Yes. Codex compliment Marines are overpowered. What's the best way to break the news to someone they need to be on a special bus? What's the best way to break the news that Ultramarines aren't particularly great? They are kind of good, though. Gulliman's still
I
good.
still like Raven Guard as a 1,000 point detachment. As a full army of Marines, I think Ultramarines is still the best way to go.
I think Ultramarines is pretty good. Like, think about the Primaris are just getting
aren't
cheaper
they
and
only
more.
good if you have Gulliman?
Huh?
Aren't they only good if you have Gulliman, though?
They're loads
Yeah, you
better
need
if they've got
Gulliman,
Gulliman.
yeah, you need
They've got the best tactic out of all of the Marine books, but maybe Raven Guard.
Disagree.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the best one?
I think the best tactic's Salamanders.
And you think it's Raven Guard?
Well, no, I think best is probably Raven Guard just because -1 to hit
Also,
is
the stratagem
good.
is straight fire.
What, the Infiltrate one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is good.
But I think
Salamanders is good in the Dreadnought list that you've got. But for a new player, both of those two require some sort of like intuitive knowledge. For a new player, it's just you get blue men, and then you put the big blue man in the middle of them, and then you re-roll in all of the dice.
Yeah.
and your blue man can run away and still shoot. So
Yeah, and
don't
all of
worry
your
about
other blue men
positioning.
can. And then if someone comes near you, the big blue man can stab them with the big sword.
Was that a great transition to the Ultramarine one?
We're not finished, I don't think. Because you've got prepared positions change.
Do we?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work on flyers, right?
Yeah, prepared positions doesn't work on flyers now. Are you happy about that?
Yeah.
Or fortifications?
Yeah, that's fine.
It didn't work. It never worked on Titanic or fortifications anyway, right?
I'm not sure, but it definitely now doesn't work on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So happy with this change or not happy with this change?
Happy with this change?
I'm a bit angry about it.
Well, you like
Fucking
it.
No,
liar.
You like
You're not angry about it. What?
2+ armor save flyers, dude.
What are you bothered about? You're not bothered. You're happy.
Well,
What
it's-
flyers have you ever used?
No, it's Titanics.
Oh, okay. For your knights.
Yeah.
You're sad that your knights can't get prepared.
It wasn't
positions.
always like that, anyway.
It was, I think.
Oh, okay.
Have you been cheating? Good.
Hermanista are Deathwatch the equivalent of second edition Eldar rules where you just nod and agree with whatever the opponent says when it comes to rules?
8th
Yeah.
edition LR rules.
Yeah. No, that's more understandable. It does make you laugh though when you deploy against them and then they just redeploy their army and you're like, what?
Just a small anecdote from the weekend.
Yeah.
In the last round, Andy on my team played against a Tau player.
Yeah.
And the Tau player was explaining to him how his army works and what he did. And after the game, Andy came up to me and said, halfway through, he just wanted the game to be over. Like halfway through the explanation.
Halfway through the.
Like, this is too many rules. This is too many rules.
If you shoot
Can't
this
handle
suit,
it.
this drone's going to take you
No,
on
it's Piranhas. It's Simon's list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It was actually Simon, so it's not just Simon's list, it's Simon.
But still.
Yeah.
Yeah. You take that back, Rob, says Flaming Farmer. Harlequins can dream. They can. They can laugh as well. Honest Wargamer says Connery. No, I mean non-ultras. They think the rest of them are overpowered. Oh, non-ultramarines
What?
are overpowered.
Why do you think everything else is overpowered?
He said that they're all very new. That's fine.
Why do they think that?
Because they're new.
It's,
Well,
but
my
what's the
advice would
reasoning?
be to him is buy an Eldar army then.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eldar army stops the
And play
Ultramarine
him.
army as well.
Playing with that. Well,
That's
there
what.
you go.
That's the
That'll
point.
prove his point.
Just go right to the top.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. I think that's broken.
Yeah. Watch this. And then Heinrad suggested the same thing. Hi, Heinrad. Hope you're doing well. I think I'm seeing you soon at Bobo. There's loads of other questions. They're not new. I am. Oh my god, I've got so much of it. Whatever he said to me, I got 100% wrong. Colorado, please message me later. I'll try and help. And also, Byron says, I didn't play a Tau player. I played the Tau player. That's true.
Tau player, yeah.
He played the Tau player.
Yeah.
Did he?
Is he the? Because he played Simon.
There's loads of people playing Tau.
Who's Tom? In your opinion, who's arguably the Tau player?
I'm not allowed to give an answer for that one.
You're not allowed to give an answer. No, the best Tau player in the world.
I'm not allowed to give an answer to that. I'm not going to... Right, here's the thing. So one of the issues
It's
I had...
me. That's the secret.
Because
I take the supremacy.
One of the
suit
issues
every
I
time.
had were people saying, "Oh, I'm the best Vis player in the world." It's like, well, how do you even gauge that? You don't play against the vast majority of competitive players. You play within your small local meta.
I
So
would
you
say that
can
I'm
never
the second
possibly know.
to third best Tau player in this room.
Right. Okay.
Okay,
And then
I
finally,
agree with
you could take. Let's say you could objectively decide who the best player in the world is. You could give them any army, and they would make them the best player in the world of that army. If you could objectively do that, but you can never get to that standard because you can never understand what it means to be the best player in the world because you're never playing against all these other different metas.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Good point. Well done. Someone should clip that, and then anytime anyone ever talks or says that they're the best at something,
Then
they should
put it
send
on-
them that clip.
Put it on
And
two.
then-
put
And
it
then
on
someone will be like, that guy makes an eloquent point, but his shirt is fucking awful. Yeah.
put it into 2 times speed and
we
put
can
it in the rap
Photoshop
god.
it.
Yeah, we could. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can edit you. I'm gonna have some like rain dropping down on you. Like it's gonna
That's
look
fine.
beautiful, majestic.
That's
Yeah. Then someone says that actually probably the best is James Workshop. I was like, oh, that's nice. One thing is certain: no one in America is the best player in the world. Says XT98. They don't even play proper 40k. Wow. Right. So let's move on. Yeah.
Okay.
So prepared positions. We're happy with that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Tactical restraint. Tactical restraint is a match play rule introduced in the beta back in autumn 2018. Based on your feedback, we've clarified command points gained via psychic powers are included, and once more changes to exclude command points are spent on stratagems that are used. Before the battle has begun from beginning being refunded at all. This is now in its final form in the match play rule. If you would like to hear our thoughts on beta rules, because all rules are up for change, right? So nothing needs to be a beta rule.
No,
it can
just
just be
a
an
rule.
intermittent rule.
Yeah.
But sure, whatever you want. Tactical reserves. Instead of being set up on the back, so they've changed up tactical reserves a little bit, haven't they? But not in a big way.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Have
Sorry.
they changed it to me say points value rather than power level?
Didn't they they've just finalised it. They've said this
This is
rule
Oh, it's finalised.
is now an actual rule.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Dude Like says Rob is probably the third best Orc player in the studio today. Was I not the original Orc player?
Wow.
You were the first.
Well, I'll take that.
Just like Zoe Berger was the first.
I'm going to
Twerking
clip
your
that.
ass
I
on
was going to
YouTube.
say, was I not? Was I not? And then I
do
was
it.
going to have you say the first, and I'm like, deal. No, who's done the best? You've done the best of the Orcs. Have you done the best of the Orcs?
I've not taken orcs to an event, so
Oh, so you've done the best of the Orcs out of the pair of us.
took Orcs too. What have I taken Orcs to?
Did you go 4-1?
Yeah,
I bequeath you my crown.
twice.
Be it. Oh, right.
No,
Twi-
no,
once.
No, yeah. I'm trying to think of what I've taken them to. Yeah, I've taken them to a few things.
Okay, well done. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Still best Harlequin player here.
Yes.
you're the only Harlequin player here.
But I tried so hard. The tactical reserves has been updated. That's fine. And then
Interim balance review.
yeah, the interim balance review. It's possible through various warlord traits and rotate Iron Shield stratagems for Imperial Renegade Knights to boost its vulnerable save to a 3+. Considering the Knight is already an exceptionally tough and resilient unit to face, we Pokemon Pikachu face.
Oh, no.
We feel this is too much for most of the opponents to contend with. To that end, we are making a minor adjustment to the rotate Iron Shield stratagem that limits that limits the maximum saving throw from 3+ to 4+. It also has come to our attention, Pikachu face. That it's possible in certain situations for the Death Grip stratagem to automatically destroy the enemy model it hits, as it is impossible for the enemy model to ever be able to break free. We feel this is a shame, and so we're introducing an errata that make it so there's always a narrow hope of breaking free.
Narrow hope.
And then just kicking Gene Stealers while they're at it.
Yes.
I mean, it's, nah.
So they have rotate Iron Shields now is to a 4+, and then they've changed Death Grip as well. So there we go.
If your opponent always ever rolls a 6.
No, we'll get to Gene Stealer one in a
No,
minute.
that's for Death Grip.
Yes, they escape.
It's the same.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel about Knights having a 4+ invulnerable save?
I think it's a good change.
I think it's a great change. I think it's
yeah.
better than the 100 points to the Castellan, personally.
You think it's better than that change?
Way better. Way better.
Yeah.
I was practicing this little as Dick Van der Hoosen knows, we do a lot of show writing beforehand, so I was practicing this speech earlier. So I'll try and
Oh, they include double leg things down here.
That wasn't in the script, Tom.
That was in the script,
Stick to
Tom.
the script.
You've got our script.
I didn't know this was in here.
Well, the script is this, effectively. We all know that dickhead, who has made nothing but 3 open vulnerable saves against us.
Yeah.
Or You are that dickhead that's done nothing but roll 3 up invulnerable saves against us.
What?
Nick.
Not me.
And therefore, I think it's an excellent change. And be you one of them dicks, nor, nay, having to fight one of those dicks, we all are happier that the dick has got a tiny bit shorter.
And they all rejoiced.
And we all rejoiced. I think it's an excellent change.
No, you just need to change the ambiguous range so we can see. No, you're not.
No, but what do you guys, honestly, what do you guys think?
Yeah, good.
Great.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I think, personally, I think that that's a better and more impactful change than the points hike.
And I think what.
Yep. Agreed.
Do you think it's going to mean that people taking knights might take other?
Valiant.
Well, yeah, more. You'll see more variety in knights, which is awesome.
Great.
And you might see different warlord traits being taken, or like knights like the Styrics, which is automatically already got a 4+ vulnerable save, which I've used quite a bit and is really really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be cool to see other types of knights.
I think I agree with you absolutely. Like I think a lot of the stratagems plus command traits, plus warlord traits, plus units, specifically the Castellan was so like, I'm dumb for not doing this. You know, like even you 3 up invulnerable save on an extra 4 or 5 wounds, like what extra 4 wounds is huge, right? You know, especially with normally when you're doing damage against knights, you're using high variance weapons, so you're doing a lot of d6 damage. So just anything in that situation, like lowering the wound cap would be a huge. But I think reducing the invulnerable save is better than the points change, because it means that you couldn't have put the Castellan up by 100 points and then actually the Crusaders just better, like now, and it still was there with the 3 up invulnerable save. I feel the 3 up invulnerable save was the issue, and not the points.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually the change to focus on, because it brings knights just into a better place, like that's more manageable. I would argue. I don't know what you guys think.
Potentially.
Okay, very nice. I just want to say, Chaos Swarm's very happy about that as well, which I'm happy about. And Datcom though says, I swear I make more 4+ than I do 3+. It's because he's trying too hard, I think. Nick Lambourne says, now you'll only get more of a pleasant dick in, which is nice. And Crusaders will. He unfortunately then said, come in more. I don't think that's. He should have read his 2 sentences. And that's also Pure Evil's here, leader of the
evil empire.
He also says, prefer on time.
Only at League of Nights. Tickets available on. I don't know what the link is, but I'm sure you can find it.
Acherons are back on the menu, we reckon.
No.
Acherons?
No. And
I will show you where Styrics and Atropos.
Yes, Atropos is great.
Styrics and Atropos.
Dino says, I think Nicholas' Knights only got better. And Hermanist says, the 3++, I don't mind them breaking. The 100 points is the problem, because a Knight list will struggle shaving the points. A Guard Suit list won't struggle and still beefs up the Raven Castellan. Orange Brush Miniatures, you think they waited this long because they were selling so well, says Orange Brush Miniatures. I would say that absolutely nothing they do is based on logic, rhyme or reason. They spin a wheel, do a dance, and this is absolutely not true, just for the legal department before they get involved. But I'm almost certain they have LSD Fridays, where they consume huge volumes of LSD and then
Have you snuck your way into the deliveries department again? Because that's just my front. That's just my front for a retirement.
Is that why you've got the shirt, Tom? Because you're high as fuck on LSD?
Yeah. That's just a front.
And that's why he's not sticking to the script.
That's why.
There's a script.
Yeah. This whole show is written.
Evening, Deepkin Sab. What a lovely man, by the way, Deepkin Sab. As someone who uses lit, I think it's a good change. Uses knights. We don't need to spend we don't need to spend CP on the 4-draw knights and next week's events. That's a bonus. So there we go.
Yeah.
Right.
We've still got the Imperial Assassin stratagem.
We have. It went up by a CP.
Yep, and you can't use it if you've already got knights in your army, right?
Assassins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So if you already have assassins in your army, you can't buy more.
correct.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about that?
Fine.
Yeah, I think it's good because you could have like 3 Vindicas and then buy an extra one, which seems
Although
a
the
bit
sideboards were
obsessive.
kind of cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. Super weird though, isn't it? That they put a rule out in White Dwarf and it's not been around very long.
No.
Right. Can I read the next one?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Codex Orcs.
Oh God.
Page 126. Mob
God.
up.
If anyone has not been following along with the show recently, Tom has had a hard-on for hating on orcs.
No,
specifically
just
looters.
Looters.
Looters bad.
Join us with this story. Tom, continue.
Change the first and second sentences of this stratagem
Could
to
you speak
read.
somewhere near the mic?
I'm being very loud.
Okay, all right. Excited.
To
Mike.
read, use this stratagem at the end of your movement phase before setting up any reinforcement units from your army on the battlefield, if any. So you can't drop down and mob up. Select 2 clan boys units from your army that are within 2 inches of each other, and you can mob them up. So you can't mob up 2 looter units. Not that you should want to anyway. They're garbage. Only take 15.
Apparently, according to a blog post by someone I won't name earlier, they were one of the best anti-vehicle units in the game, and them not now being not being able to be looted, mobbed up, means that tanks are safe.
So they might have been very good at killing. They might have been very good at killing vehicles. They weren't very good at winning games.
I don't think that they were. I think they were actually quite good at killing vehicles, but I don't think the mobbing up thing doesn't bother me.
They seem better at killing infantry.
Yeah.
So-
Well, mid-tier stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the arguments that you often get with people who are saying, "Oh, well, looters are good," is that you look at the win rates on 40kstats.com, and one of the win rates would be you'd get a higher win rate in all armies with looters than you would without. But that's because people weren't looking at the armies better than looters. And the ones that didn't have the looters tended to be the fluffy ones. So when people wanted to go competitive with orcs, they thought, right, what do I need? I need looters. So you take those lists.
Who are these people? It was not
it's
either
all
of us. It was
it's
not
all
us three.
anecdotal. It's
I
all
was like,
anecdotal.
what do I need to
But
be competitive? Burner boys.
There you go. And
Smash
you'd
your
often
guns.
find that most of these orc lists go 4 and 1 and 3 and 2. If you want to win events, you don't take looters. It's simple as that.
I don't even think take boys, but we've had this discussion on the show before.
Yeah, we have.
120 boys. 120 boys.
30 boys.
And that's the last I'll say about looters.
30
bad,
boys
that
in a
is all.
truck.
You can take-
no trucks ever.
You can take-
Never one truck.
No.
You can take 15 looters. 15 looters is okay. The looters build was trash.
Someone said that trucks were good, and I laughed.
And now now they can't blow up.
For
You
36. What?
The looters can't blow up. The truck can't blow up, and then you charge them the same turn.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. But they were rubbish before then, the trucks. But you can't mob up looters effectively. Or burner boys.
No.
Sorry, Nicholas.
Just boys. No.
They also changed...
Or not. You can't do knobs either. Because people were doing that with knobs, weren't they?
Yeah.
You can't pack your knobs together.
No, you can't get your knobs.
No, you can't get a
close
pack
to
of
the
knobs and go crazy. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, I'm so excited.
They do it. You do it. Son.
So...
You're climaxing again.
Oh, yes!
We're getting very noisy into these
Can
microphones.
I get some emojis in the chat, please? Doesn't matter which ones, just all of
Just
them.
anything.
Anything.
Get
Drop
your
some
aubergines
jazz-
out.
The longest I've ever waited for some people to go, do you reckon this is too good? And then someone's gone, Pikachu face. The Doom, Jinx, and Reveal powers are particularly deadly combination. Which
Doom, Jinx, and reveal powers.
yeah, well, that's what Tom, I'm reading from the games designers.
Reveal?
They should know, not you.
Yeah, it's not like I'm good at Eldar or anything.
No,
is it?
what would you know? A particularly deadly combination that can be used to mete?
I think the typo is including reveal in this list.
Meet
All right.
destruction on the foes of the craft worlds.
Yes, however, these psychic powers are being disproportionately used for a year and a half. For 3, this is the third FAQ.
I think the car were released this time last year, weren't they? It feels longer, but it's only been a year.
Feels like forever.
Yeah.
No, because didn't they still have Doom and Jinx inside of the index?
Yeah, but they were shit.
So no, Doom and Jinx have survived their codex,
Right?
2 FAQs, and now we're here.
Yeah.
We started at the top, and now we're here.
2 chapter approves or just 1?
2 chapter approves.
Yeah.
2 chapter
Eldar
approves.
released in
2 chapter approves. 2 big FAQs.
Yeah.
5 attempts you could have had to fix it, but turn number 6. Fuck you, Tom. It's not even that big a change.
It's after we cleaned up November with all the GTs falling to Eldar players.
It's not even that big a change, and it's kind of
not.
okay.
It screws Drukhari more than it screws me.
Oh, the chat is full of emojis and everyone is over the moon. We got some Pokemon faces from Scrivo, some Yazfest is doing some Roblins and some jet emojis. Russ is, honest question, is Tom on speed or some other drug? He speaks so fast at certain points, the mic can't even keep up with him. So, Tom, I know you've not wanted me to talk about this on the show, so And
We've already
it's-
spoken about my LSD habit.
So, all right, okay, we'll talk about it. A lot of people don't know that Nick is actually the reason that both Nick and Tom came on the show at the same time is Nick's actually Tom's manager, and Tom is an underground beatbox world champion. And he doesn't like talking about it much.
That's why
Nick?
Nicholas was trying to
No,
get good tongue twisters earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, if people on that scene found out that it was on a Warhammer show, then the whole credibility goes.
Yeah, I
All
just didn't
credibility.
I don't make any money. Tom doesn't get his 10%.
This is why he's got the shirt as camouflage.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
This is why I hang out with the least cool people around. So they'll never actually find me.
oh, we brought it back. There we go. You and me like, ooh. He's got us. There we go. Hello, the Kristin. Archeon says the best way to get what you want is to get some bots to spam Go's workshop with emails. Archeon's like, I'm going to fucking fix this. There we go. Oh, we've got an attachment from LLV in the chat. A nice little... John, if you could just tweet that out for us on the Honest Wargamer Twitter, that'd be great. It's just a lovely Pokemon face.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm going to go... Arkin says, I'm going to do it next FAQ, literally make 25 email addresses in email. Colonel Cabot says, I'm a long time Dark Eldar player, and the Eldari changes and then ITC mono faction rules are great. In 7th, I was told my codex wasn't shit because I could play with Craftworld Eldar. In 8th, I was told my list must have a Farseer. Finally, people might leave me alone, and I might get to play my Dark Eldar with Dark Eldar units. Hashtag
Anti-list fascists.
anti-list fascists. There we go.
Yes.
And Mr. Kapowski says he wants a cut of the whatever you guys make.
It's
in
okay,
your-
he doesn't know what the underground scene is, he can't find them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah, you don't know what the underground scene is.
What's he going to do for his cut? That's all I know.
Anyway, so that's why Tom talks so fast.
Yeah.
And I've never met anyone who talks faster than me, Tom. So congrats.
We'll have to have a rap battle at some point for the Patreons.
I refuse. You win.
You just, yeah. that's
So
great,
they
I think.
changed conceal and reveal.
Oh no.
Yes. How do you feel? Well, excuse me. Reveal is a particularly deadly combination.
It's what does it combine with?
According to this, Doom and Jinx.
How many warlocks do you think I'm taking?
All of them, apparently.
So I'm
according to
taking
this.
Doom. So that's
So
one HQ.
will you tell people what Reveal did and now what it does?
I don't know.
They just removed cover save.
So if that makes you guys feel any better about the
Ah.
level of impact that Reveal has,
I mean, Jinx is
someone who's
effectively
been
the
playing them
same thing.
competitively for a year said, I don't know what that does. So we'll move on. Protecting Jinx, though. Tom, what did Protect or Jinx do?
So Protect would be +1 to your save rolls, Jinx would be -1 to your opponent's save rolls. It has an 18-inch range. You can double the power if you're a Warlock Conclave with a stratagem. And then Doom is 24-inch range, reroll to wound against a certain unit of everything that fires at it. And that was really, really good with Drakari.
I like that it was 24 inches.
And on a bike,
Why
you
was
just
it
go
24?
well, with a bike, you move 22, you fire at 24 inches. You don't need line of sight for any of those powers. You've got a 46-inch range power. It just removes the unit from the board.
5 opportunities to fix it up till now. However,
But it's
fool
still,
me,
it's still
fool me
broken.
once, fool on me.
It's still broken.
Fool me for...
It still does exactly the same thing. It just doesn't work with Drakari. So now with the Drakari armies, you don't have to have an auxiliary support detachment, which costs you 1 CP, to have a Farseer with a bike and Doom and Executioner on it.
So effectively what we're saying is inside of a Craftworld book, it still has the same effect as it always did.
Yes.
However, now I can't use it on my Harlequin bikes or on my Talos.
You can't use it to benefit them because you still target an enemy unit, but only Asayani units get to reroll to win against.
But arguably, the SR units are some of the best at shooting that they have anyway.
You can argue Ravagers. You can argue Ravagers because Dark Reapers have taken a little bit of a fall recently.
So what they've done effectively is they released the Harlequin and the Drakari book, and then people were benefiting. So to kind of like not really rain on Colonel Cabbage's parade, but to a degree.
Yeah.
Effectively, what people would say is, "Hey, your Drakari book's pretty good. You should add some of this Craftworld stuff to it to make it better." And now what they're going to say is, "Hey, your Drakari book's good, but you can't re-roll these.
You should play Craftworld.
You should play Craftworld."
What you should do is remove all of your Drakari, unit by unit.
Unit by unit.
Replacing
you
them.
started with the Farseer.
Yeah.
Just keep adding other units like that.
Them Cabalites, just swap them out with Rangers. That Archon, right, swap him out for a Farseer.
And he's gone.
Fire prisms, they're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fine.
I mean, this can more fall into the conversation next week when we talk about Yunari. About how efficient it is.
Apparently, also, you're not the real Nikos, says Deepkin said.
Will you please stand up?
Oh, I get it.
I'm not.
No,
It's from, is that the Bobo thing?
no, maybe.
Which one's the real Nikos?
They did play which is the real Nikos at Crimbobo.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I remember 'cause I
Seb
was
was there,
actually
so
there,
he knew
yeah.
that. Yeah. I'm a long time Dark Elf Eldar player. Oh no, we've read that already. Fine. And there's some
And then the
more.
last one.
Oh, we've tweeted it. Don't worry. If anyone would like to follow us on Twitter, the Oldest Wargamers just tweeted out Eldar Psychic Powers are busted as hell. Look at my face. Anyway, so we're good. So, Tom, the changes to you have affected you 0%?
From the FAQ, it'll affect me in some way because it changes what's effective against me, right?
That's true.
So
That's true. Nick, how do you
very good.
how do you still feel about Doom in the game?
I think it's alright as long as it's restricted to one codex.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's alright.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'd say
Because it's still... Yes, Farseers are good at casting powers because they get that innate reroll and you got your CP reroll. But there will be games where they don't get it off. And as
But
long
it's
as
like actually having a conversation about it, because I don't think we have ever had this conversation. If we just look at it quickly from a game design perspective, especially if we compare other stratagems, like a lot of other stratagems, like some stratagems were like you can reroll wounds on this unit, as in the unit you're firing with, or if I have this unit nearby, I can reroll ones to wound with the unit that it's nearby. Yeah, those are considered buffs in Games Workshop's terms. Like realistically, this psychic power is scaled way above that, realistically, because it's basically infinite range. Not quite, but effectively.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get off, but most importantly, it's whatever I put it on, everything can reroll to wound against it.
Value Town.
Yeah, it's value town beyond all measure, realistically. So, and I don't know if there's almost anything in the game that's as powerful.
It's Doom.
Yeah,
I agree.
is my point. Like, it's all,
Especially when you could double fire. You can't do it anymore, so now it's in the question. But
but you can still fire other stuff at it.
oh, you can, yeah, 100%.
That's my
But
point.
if you've got one unit of Dark Reapers going, I'm gonna do this twice,
Yeah,
you know, it's just...
but you can still fight. I'm right in thinking you can still fight every other unit at the unit
yes, you
that's
can.
been
Yeah,
doomed.
you can. Yeah.
So
but you're getting if you're effectively just saying, oh well, I've got one unit of Guide and Doom on it. I can get twice the amount of use out of Guide
yes,
just through firing twice.
but you, all of your army gets the benefit of Doom.
Yes, yeah.
So
but if you until you kill the thing.
Yeah. So while so do I like personally? I actually don't think that that's far enough. I don't think they understand here how impactful that psychic power is. And actually, it's only having this conversation kind of like more like actually think about it for a second. You might get a lieutenant to like let you reroll some ones to wound or something like that, and you were like, oh okay, that's quite good. But I've got to be within range and some other stuff. But it's just like that unit. Everything rerolls.
So here's the thing for me. There have been a lot of changes to Eldar over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't quite know where they settle right now.
Yeah, I was talking about it in isolation.
Oh no, of course. But if you're suddenly going really heavy on Doom as well, is that now too much for the book as a whole? I'm not saying it's too much for the power. The power is extremely powerful. But if you don't know where the faction settles, is it
well, if you
good call to
if you just compare it to the rest of the range, like the other armies and whatnot. What I'm talking about is in isolation. There are a couple of other examples, maybe, of being able to have your entire army reroll to wound against something. Yeah, but very few.
Yeah.
And the one we know best is Doom.
Yeah.
And it's because effectively you're like that unit must die, which is great. It's a cool ability, but it's we talked about how impactful Vect is.
Yeah, I mean you can take it in isolation all you want, but it's still based upon the context of how much shooting your army puts out.
Yeah, agreed. Good point. Yeah, fair enough. I'm just saying that anyway, it's very strong, and I think I would prefer if
you could take it and plug it and play into any army, oh hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think what I would prefer, and what I don't really want, is everyone to have it. Because again, I think it kind of is really impactful in the game.
Spread it.
Yeah, in the way that I think I would prefer that actually you pick a unit and that unit gets to reroll to wound, which is a huge nerf, but actually. If you actually talk about it in comparison to other books, everyone's like, yeah, I've got reroll wounds on this unit. How cool is that? Yeah, it's like, if I could reroll everything to wound against that unit, sweet news. Anyway, just talking about it because, sometimes we can accept bullshit and then someone goes, actually.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And then final one, I guess, the points increases on the Plasma Decimator and Volcano Lance.
Yes.
So those are the two weapons used by the Castellan. The Plasma Decimator is now 40 points up from 0, I believe. And the Volcano Lance is now 60 up from 0, I believe. And then on the Renegade Knight, it's up to 70 rather than to 60 because you're Chaos, so you need a bit more screwing.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why they made the Chaos one
Because
more
they're
expensive.
evil, leaders of the evil empire.
Yeah, but like, the good guy knights, they get loads of traits and stuff like that that make the knights better, whereas Renegade Knight traits are rubbish.
You get double Gatling cannon.
Yeah, but in terms of like the Castellan Chaos one, you can have reroll all hits, which is very good, but yeah, don't get the traits.
So we haven't done the faction specific ones, but Castellan's going up in points. I personally prefer the Invern's change. I think that's smarter.
Yeah,
I think overall that protects them from something else accidentally being just a better choice. And the Crusade is something that just pops out into my brain straight away. But I'm happy they've gone up in points as well because they were dumb good, and they're still very good. I'd still say that they're very good personally.
Yeah, still really good.
Like, all you got to do is make some 4-up saves now, and then you got to lose maybe 100 points isn't loads.
But when you're trying to find those 100 points, you're probably dropping them off of Ironstone rocket pods on other knights, or you're dropping them out of your CP farm, or whatever. If it's 2,000 points, it's a little bit easier, but you're still losing something for 1,750 points. That's tricky.
Yeah, I agree, but if it's still good enough for those points, people are going to find the room. I think we'll see. I
don't think it is.
You don't think it is?
No.
You think 100 points is enough to have made the difference?
I didn't think Castellan lists were necessarily the best thing since sliced bread when they were really strong. They were still smashing it in America. The problem is people weren't running hordes. But then it comes down to the economy of building things, I guess, in America, right?
I think it's the economy of building stuff anywhere, really.
Yeah.
Playing them on the
But
tabletop.
I think it's easier in the UK because, and I think the evidence backs that because you weren't seeing Castellans really winning anything here.
That's a good point. And also, there was a majority.
Is that because England are better at Warhammer than America?
No, it's because it's cheaper because of Brexit. Yeah. Export costs.
The best current people at 40k, Nick, are actually America.
Oh, is it America?
Yeah,
oh, really?
they've won the European Team Championship, so
Oh,
they're
wow.
technically currently the best.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was 9 months ago, but yeah.
Has anyone beat them since?
Have they played an event since?
No. So then no, they're currently the
Currently
champs.
the best. Currently the best.
Currently the
Who
best.
retired from boxing undefeated? And is really old and crap now?
Don't know.
Hatton?
No, not Tyson.
No, Hatton. Didn't Ricky Hatton retire undefeated?
Don't follow boxing.
Okay,
No
fair
idea.
enough. Chat'll help.
Yeah. Are you suggesting people take less bullshit Imperial suit? Says Coloru. Heresy. And then it's a 16% increase, this Alan Draw, to give us some sort of
Yeah, but
context for the
16% on like several $1 billion is a big increase.
That's a good point. Yeah, 16% of my wages would be still very, very, very cool. So thank you to everyone on Patreon and Twitch. You guys are amazing.
Joe Calzaghe,
Yeah, I
there you go.
appreciate that loads.
Terministiness.
Right. Anyway, so personally, I'm happy with the points hikes. I think it was dumb. Yeah, specifically, I played.
And
with
if it's too high, they'll just take it down again in chapter approved.
I actually think that that's a better way to go. Go in to a unit and just go plus 200 points.
Fucked.
Fuck you. And then later on they go, I didn't see any of them. Maybe drop it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should be. You should.
Bring back blast templates. Somewhere in the
No,
middle.
never that. Never that. No. So overall, the overall part before we get into like individual indexes and stuff. Yeah. How do you think that they did
Brilliant.
based on their metric, their own metric?
Are we going to be going through all the indexes?
Because it's huge amounts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And you guys have got to talk about your adventures at the Warhammer World Team events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have addressed some of the balance issues that they had, so I'd say they've done well.
Yeah.
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 Would you,
That was their
what's your
aim.
rating out of 10, Nick?
Out of 10,
Yeah.
I'd go for a solid 7.5.
Wow, okay, very good. Twitch chat, I'm also going to want yours, and I will read it out, so let us know. With justification if you want, or just pick a number. Tom,
9.
9. Would you like to justify?
Well, what do we think that they could have done better in this FAQ?
Huh?
What do we think they could have done better in this FAQ?
Made Harlequins cheaper?
Right. I'm not sure.
Made Necrons cheaper.
No.
They could have made looters good.
No.
I think they could have...
I don't want that. Loot is
They
bad.
could have solved World Hunger.
Yeah, that's why I've knocked off a point.
Yeah. They could have got rid of that dickhead shield captain. So the question, so you give it a 9, Tom.
9.
You give it a 7.5, because you don't see what they could have done to improve it.
I'm not sure I would have changed too much more at this stage now.
You think it's already quite a sweeping change, so you'd like to wait a bit to see where it settles out.
I think we're just getting towards the last of the codices now. When we haven't had a few books in a while, and it's just been updating, then we can work on updating these books like Necrons and Harlequins and what have you, just to make them more interesting. But for now, I think with the number of sweeping changes the game has undergone in the last few months, with Ynnari specifically being the big one, I think currently,
Okay.
leave it alone.
Right, let me read what the guys in the chat are saying and see how they feel. So Alandrel says Scriver says rule of 3, so 3. So he's giving it a 3 out of 10. Nick Lamborn gives it an 8. Toon Tristan gives it a 10, which is very impressive. Also because he's now downloaded Battlescribe onto his phone, and he's loving it. Danish says, I say a 9 as well, because they finally fixed everything that was actually wrong with the game. Pure Evil says, fix reanimation protocols. Bad Glover says 8, bearing in mind that I didn't read most of it. That's good. Camelot probably a 7. The benefits of the game are great, but it's hard to take this many hits to my own armies, which is fair. But understanding that you need to sometimes is important as well, right? Then Datcom says, I think they should have dropped the cultist unit size for Death Guard to match Chaos Space when his new size. We don't need 40-man units anymore. Nick Lamborn says, new 40k, break everything this summer, says LLV. Maybe. Honest Wargamer, 8 out of 10. Oblitz are too expensive at 115. 65 is too cheap. Should have gone in the middle. Jimmy 1080 says, overall, I think pretty good, as some of their rationale is a bit derpy. Agreed with that. 9 because they didn't wreck anything totally. Master Kamal, considering they said that this was small changes, I wonder what happens the day they do big changes. That's a good point. Yeah. Killstorm, the big FAQ, nice. And Codex fixes also best for 1 Chaos, is 1 Chaos Space Marine. Characters get Legion traits now, so index characters plus Lord Discordant. Yeah, happy with that?
I'm happy about that, yeah. Demon Princess getting traits as well, pretty nice.
That's very cool.
Gulliman.
Yeah. Well, Irish Monitor, I give it an 8 or so. I think it answers a lot of questions. It also does not present a lot of questions like past ones have, although I think taking away beta bolt rule for vehicles for Marines is a joke, as Marines drive that's a good point. I'm better at shooting bolters, and now I'm a Marine in a tank. Ixtab says 7. Just wondering why they give the biggest Ynnari hater the privilege to destroy the Ynnari, says Valerie. Ret Sanity killed the ability to summon demons as an Imperial thanks to the fallen nerf, but fixed Quins 8 out of 10, so he's happy with that. Baron Saturday gives it an 8 out of 10, although I was hoping for Terminators to become more viable somehow. I'd agree with that. And then Hellstorm Dan says, wait till we see the Tau changes. Apparently there's some big Tau changes.
Okay, we go straight to that if you want.
You can maybe give it, let me just finish this off, and then Herbalist says 8 out of 10. Sorry if I missed anyone, would have been 9 out of 10, but for 100 points to the Casti. So he's obviously upset about that. I'm not bitter at all.
He's just finished painting it.
Yeah.
So,
I'd actually give it a really high rating as well. I'd go for, what would I go for? Let's have to think about it for a minute. I think maybe like a 7 to 8. Realistically,
so 7.5 again.
Yeah, something like that. I agree with you, Tom. Realistically, that I don't know what more changes I would like to see. I do know, but I think it's more of a game architecture overhaul. And I agree that this is already some pretty sweeping changes. I'd also say that most of this is just cycling back on mistakes they've done in previous FAQs. I would argue.
Two of them definitely are.
Two of them definitely.
The wobbly models and the charging.
Yes, and also the beta bolt rule for
the beta bolt rules. Yeah.
But I'm really proud of them for cycling back on their own mistakes and going, look, we made a mistake, and here's an update. I think that's excellent. And I think that's really that's good. I prefer if they had some foresight and just didn't make the mistake in the first place. We talk a lot about, as a community, we talk about a lot of the fact that Games Workshop are now doing things, which is exciting. Like, hey, they're doing FAQs now, and I'm like, that's great, but I would prefer just a little bit of, you could say, Tom, reveal. Yeah, but I would prefer some foresight before they even do something, because it's been fairly tumultuous 40k. Someone in one of the AOS chats I was in earlier described it as a yo-yo, and that is fairly true. Like you said, Tom, you didn't want there to be too many more changes because these are already pretty massive, but these are actually just relatively putting us back
Well, it's not just these that are relatively massive, it's all the releases we've had previously.
Well, what I mean
now.
is like some of these, and I would say some of the most impactful ones, specifically Fly, like are just taking us back to the game edition before. But I think some of them are changing. Changes are excellent. They're changing to flyers is nominal, but a little bit like more interesting and a little bit more useful. So overall 7.5, because I don't think they necessarily. I think they did some good things, but I think most of it was fixing. So, like, why would I give them a 10 for making a mistake?
They fixed it properly rather than fixing it badly.
Agreed. Agreed. And I feel like it wouldn't have been too hard to have done this a year ago, in most of the cases. Are my thoughts.
Yeah, fair enough.
Potentially.
So, or 2 months ago. Question to Top: are you happy you can finally play Inari without the opponent whining? Because Tom, next week we're going to talk about the Inari release, right?
Yeah.
So we get to talk about that next. 7.5 for me, and I think that seems fair to me.
The half point I deducted is because it was late.
Yeah.
Well, it was still in April, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's how.
Right at the end.
A lot of people like say that we should be super thankful to them. Like,
that's the entitled point we made last week, right?
Yeah, but they're like, we should be thankful to them that they're even releasing FAQ. I'm like, no, if you make a shit game, people are just going to go and do something else. Yeah. Like, and arguably, like, you know, loads of people just jump in the chat like, hey, Rob, you going to play your Harlequins again? And I'm like, yeah. For 6 months, they robbed from me the joy of playing with hundreds of pounds of models that I enjoyed. Like, you know, and I built and painted whatever that costs in time. So they really do need to, like, understand that if they don't do a good job with FAQs, it's going to negatively impact gamers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not entitled. I've got stuff. Like, but you need to actively keep me interested in the hobby. And I think this FAQ has done that. Yeah. I think this is great.
Yeah, it's really
This is the first FAQ they've done that we've ever given a positive score. Also, that's something they've done now. This is their third FAQ, second chapter approved that we as a group reviewed. And this is the first time we've given a positive score.
Is it?
It is.
I think so. Well, no, it was the last chapter of food was slightly positive because the missions and stuff were decent.
I thought we gave a positive review on the first big FAQ of Rule of 3.
No, we didn't. The Rule of 3 is the bit we liked, but everything else, like, because then that changed a bunch of stuff.
All right, fair enough.
But either way, that's an excellent, because it does show, like, and I also really enjoyed the Explain Now. I actually thought it was great. Yeah. So I'm really
again with the first chapter approved, we like bits of it, but then there was recon in there. So yikes.
Overall though, massive.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, don't forget, Tom. Not only was it Rule of 3 though, it was also no deep striking.
Oh yeah, horrendous.
Like, that hasn't changed. We've just walked past that and accepted that now. So thank you for whoever brought that up in the chat. Yeah, but they did well. They've done well.
Really, really well.
They've done well, but that's the first time they've done well.
Yeah.
So 7.5.
So, are we going to do the individual?
There's something you wanted to talk about with Tau specifically.
So there's two Tau FAQs that are quite interesting.
Okay.
First one is on the Kion rule, which came up at the GT finale.
Yeah.
Whereby you declare it in every unit within...
the finale.
Finale.
All right, nice, yeah.
Where you declare it in every unit within 6 inches, can't move, but gets rerolls to hits.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So now the way it works is you declare it and you pick units within 6, as many units as you want.
Right.
So it's basically, some of them can't move, but they get... It doesn't affect everybody within 6 necessarily.
Yeah.
The second one, I think, is the main negative on the entire FAQ. I think everything else is great. And I'm pretty certain by the way they've worded this as a typo. So the FAQ itself is for the volley fire rule for the Cadre Fireblades. The question is, how many shots does a model armed with a multiple pulse weapons fire when affected by a Cadre Fireblade's volley fire ability? Is it one extra shot with each of its weapons or one extra shot with just one of those weapons? So the ability here is you get an extra shot when firing at half range if there is a Cadre Fireblade within 6 inches and you're firing a pulse weapon.
So traditionally Fire Warriors were firing 3 shots.
So you'd be firing 3 shots at half range.
Yeah.
So it'd be a 30-inch range, you're firing 1 shot. 15-inch range, you're firing 3 shots. The answer is, these weapon models fire 1 additional shot for each weapon. For example, a drone armed with 2 pulse carbines, an Assault 2 weapon, would fire 3 shots from each weapon for a total of 6 shots from that model. I don't believe it is an Assault 2 weapon, is it?
I don't know.
So
I think so, yeah.
I thought what ended up happening was the way that... there's another one over here. Yeah. Oh, here it is. This is the other FAQ. With regard to the Cadre Fireblade's volley fire ability, what exactly is meant by fire an extra shot? And the answer is, it means the player can take one more hit roll for each model. Shocker. Note that for a model of a pulse rifle, a rapid fire weapon, this means that it would take 2 hit rolls unless it's within half range, which is 3 hit rolls.
Yeah.
So the Cadre Fireblade's ability only procs at half range as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be 1 shot at max range and 3 shots at half range.
Right.
So what it makes me think here is that they thought that the Cadre Fireblade's ability affected all the shots, regardless of whether it was half range or not.
Right.
So as it stands right now, 10 Fire Warriors are firing 2 shots at max range.
Wait, so they've what?
Yeah, so in that FAQ answer, they've given like an example of a fire warrior will be firing 2 shots or at long range
and
or 3 shots at half range in reference to the Fireblade rule.
Yes, so they're saying,
so
you
they've
get
kind
an
of
extra
muddied
shot.
the waters.
Yeah, so you get an extra shot flat for the Fireblade and 1 extra shot for being in half range.
So basically, what we're saying is in the Tau FAQ, there's a fuck up.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
They can either change the fuck up or not change the fuck
but
up.
just adjusting it, I'm certain that's a typo. There's no way that's not a typo.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
I wouldn't get, Tau players, just settle down.
Oh,
Settle down,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
cool. That if they. So, by the way, who was your friend who walked away as someone was explaining the Tau rules?
Andy.
Yeah. If someone read that out, I was halfway through. I was like, Tom, what?
I read the wrong FAQ
Where's
first
this-
as well.
where's
So
this-
I probably didn't know.
Where's this going? Right, good. All right, so that's fine. All right, let's move on. Look, we won't do individual ones.
Okay.
Because I think let's just talk about the overall game.
Yeah, sure.
And we already have plans in the future to talk about individual codexes, right?
Yes.
So when thankfully we can just embed in them our codex conversations. So cool. All right, nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're now going to talk about the team event that both Nick and Tom attended. But if anyone's got any final questions, let us know. Thanks for listening for that bit. If you really enjoyed it, you guys are awesome. And then we're going to talk about the team event now. If that's okay.
Team event.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm really pleased that they didn't do a shit FAQ.
Yeah, same.
It was getting
Me
a joke.
too.
And I think I'm like, come on.
Do an
It gives me hope, which is stupid because there's
You got a dream, Rob. You got a dream.
No, there's 2 things I can't trust in life: my relationships with women and Games Workshop. Yeah, right.
Don't get in a relationship with a lady from Games Workshop then.
See, that's my ultimate worry. That's my plan.
Cometarian just subscribed.
Because when someone unsubscribed.
No, just subscribed.
Oh, who?
Coimatarian.
I didn't see it. Well, thank you very much for subscribing. That's very cool of you. It is ladies' night, says Hypno Kraken. So yeah, but they're making me trust them. They're making the rules guys. The rules guys are making me feel.
Well, they're suckering you in, Rob.
Yeah, that's my
To
worry.
slap you down
That's
any
my
minute.
worry. It feels like it's the first 6 months of the relationship all over again. It's like I know that they hurt me, but look, everything seems to be going okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do you just start a relationship with "I know that they hurt me"? How many ladies have hurt you? All 3 billion.
By the way, Tom, I look like this, but I'm actually only 21. Yeah, it's
like Julian Assange.
This wasn't even a tough paper round. This is just pain. This is just emotional turmoil. So yeah. Anyway, I want them to carry on doing a good job.
Yeah.
That's what really stresses me out because I'm
Yeah.
like,
Come on, guys.
I've given
Come
you my
on.
heart.
Got it.
Please don't kill it.
You got it.
yeah, there's a glimmer of trust. I'm saying that I'm willing to meet them now. Previously, I was willing to meet them 0%, and I'm now willing to meet them 10%.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Would you have coffee with him?
I'd text with them a bit, but
Okay.
I'd wait to decide. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, can I just thank you to Hook and Pin? I missed that earlier, and Dude Our Day for donating bits to the show. 143 plus 14 sympathy crystals for Tom's nerfed Eldari soup.
Right.
Byron Tally says, honest one game in chat, I have to go and put the nerdling to bed. I will catch up with this later. FYI, an amazing time, and the team tournament. Nikos is a great captain.
Cheers, Andy.
All right, okay.
Well played.
Well, Andy, before you go though. Oh no, it's not going to be in time. Fuck.
It's not going to be a time.
Sorry. So now we're going to talk about the Warhammer World Team Championships
Whoop,
at
whoop.
Games, held at Warhammer World at Games Workshop. Nick and Tom, we're in for a classic event review.
Yeah.
The hand dryers were great.
Yeah. Well, do you know what they? Do you know what the classic? Yeah. Some of the questions are. Have you listened to enough event reviews and been part of them enough to know?
Yeah, I think so. The food.
Byron, tell you look at the screen. The food.
The
So
food.
how was the food?
The food was it's like a standard like Weatherspoons pub lunch type food.
Okay.
There were more people serving this time, so that was an improvement.
Yeah.
It was faster.
Yes.
My only issue with the food was on the second day, where I was towards the end of the people going, and there was very limited selection of food left. So it's like,
Play nice.
can I have my sausage, please? I had a sausage, and then I had some potatoes, and then there was sweet corn, and then that was it.
Wait, what?
There
Is
was-
there a
there-
war on? Is that Russian? Are they preparing for what
There
events
was
are
like-
going to be like after
Well,
Brexit?
no, there was just they didn't replenish the other
Well,
stuff.
for
quite
120
quick enough.
people, right? So it was a little bit more than a normal team. Normal.
But they
singles
all
event.
paid the
Oh, of
same
course,
amount.
of course. I don't disagree with that.
And
but
they
it's just
knew
the
for
logistics.
months in advance that was happening.
Two
What's
that
this
days
trophy
just
that you
donated
got here?
57 plus 5 bits for plus
What-
at Scrivo
what
bits
did
for
you
putting
win?
up with the host.
Oh,
notices.
right, yeah, he
Oh,
won
yeah,
best
yeah,
army.
no, we'll come to that. No spoilers.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
I forgot, like, genuinely.
Right, yeah, okay. So food, okay.
Yeah.
Food was alright. Yeah.
Always alright.
Food was all right.
No custard on the second day. I didn't get custard.
I got custard.
I had to eat a chocolate cake,
Oh.
dry.
What, without custard?
Yep.
Yikes.
I soldiered on though.
Can I tell you something? I don't even really like custard.
Yeah, but with a dry chocolate cake, you want some custard though.
Why is it dry though? You can make moist cake. You can.
You can.
just get
This
moist
one
cake.
wasn't though.
Huh?
This one wasn't though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so why is it a dry... Your issue shouldn't be there's no custard. Your issue should be that it's a dry
Give
cake.
it a little bit of a tickle.
No, that should be your issue.
Like tickling the cake.
No, that it is a dry cake.
Yeah, but the cake was alright. It would have been fine with custard, but
No, that's a terrible analogy.
it's not an analogy. I'm
That's
just
like
saying.
That's like saying I went on a date. It was fine, but she got way better when I got really drunk.
Okay.
Huck Pin just donated some more bits, by the way.
Why no custard? Says thank you, Uncle Finn. Carl Mack says like a fucking savage. So food was okay. So it was a team event. Two teams of 4. You both took a team of 4. 2,000 points, 1,750 points.
1750 points.
Match play. Was there any restrictions on your army list building?
Yes.
3 detachments.
Yeah, so you max 3 detachments, and then across the teams, you couldn't duplicate relics or warlord traits, and the rule of 3 applied across teams as well, apart from troops and transports. So, for example, in our armies, we had 2 loyal 32s. One of our team had 2 commanders, and then one of our players only had 1 commander.
Right.
So we couldn't have 4 commanders.
Did you never take the psychers?
Yeah, so he had the psyker.
Oh wait,
and
did
the
you never go
commander.
double psyker?
No.
Wow. I would. I like double psyker. Anyway, okay, cool. So that was the team restriction. It was 1,750 points.
Yep, pretty much.
Cool, and it was 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
5 rounds. So
rounds.
the 2 teams of 4 would play. Other questions we already know, but Games Workshop sometimes going to have some. World, if you've never been to the event, is going to have some hilarious heating issues. It can either be the Arctic or it can either be the wall or the south. And what was it this
It
time?
was more towards the south, I would say.
It was wham.
But it was kind of more like Midlands.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Alright, yeah. It was good.
It was fine. The distance between the tables, a classic conversation piece.
It left a little bit to be desired at some points.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a bit like I only had an issue with it in my last game. In my
Well,
last
I did slap
game,
your ass, didn't I? Yeah. By accident.
So it was close, is what we're saying.
I did have a
Close
display.
Well,
I did have a display.
it was
board,
accidental
so-
from Tom's point of view, but I was fishing for it.
quarters. you had it out there on
yeah,
purpose.
yeah. No, I bumped into the guy behind me a few times in my last game.
That was me.
Oh.
I
I
wasn't
don't think it
Nick.
was you.
No, it was Nick's opponent.
Yeah.
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 Carmack points out that
I
it
was
could
next
be
to him.
it could be sometimes both of these extremes in different parts of the hall at the same time. It is a magical place.
It's like England.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I would say that all events at One World is the tables are too close. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
A bit crammed.
It encourages you to gain a slender form. It does.
I would love it if that's their reason. Someone, many of you,
It's
go,
encouraging
"Oh,
you to get fit.
I
Yeah.
want them all to be healthier, and I will make
Like
them.
Jamie Oliver is.
Yeah, that guy's playing 4D chess in a way that I've never even thought of. All right, so then Realm of Battle Boards.
Yeah.
Suck.
Yeah, if you again have heard our review of Realm of Battle Boards, they suck. Should be mats.
Yeah.
So cool.
Bikers on the Realm of Battle Boards sliding down the Realm of Battle Board hills.
Yeah, Realm of Battle Boards suck forever.
Just lying on the side, it's fine.
But it's their product, right?
Yeah,
Like, you go into work like where they are, and they're like, we've got wrong battle boards. You're like, these sucks. Like, well, we like them.
Top tip: make 6x4 mats.
Huh?
Top tip: make 6x4 mats.
2 Games Workshop, is that their top tip?
Yeah.
If they don't know by now, I would love it if there's someone there with a pen and paper going, what was that you said, Tom? Wait, I'll rewind. Tom, is there potentially a URL you can read out to them?
www.
No.
http www.game
Don't do Russian website.
GameMat.eu.
Dot bliat. There you go.
So they're not good. And what about the scenery?
The scenery.
Because my constant complaint when I go to Games Workshop is that it's not functional and that it's poor, especially for 40k, which really requires line of sight blocking terrain.
Okay, so there was more line of sight blocking terrain, and they were in more impactful positions on the table on most of the time. But in terms of the Games Workshop scenery being functional, there's nothing they can do to change that, because they had a lot of like ruined buildings with like one corner was open, so you could poke your hand in and put models in.
Yeah.
Or one section was missing, so you could reach all the way into the back, which just meant awkward. I'd rather the ruins just be sealed, so it's just like
You want ITC boxes?
Like teams.
because it makes it easier, and more
that's
functional
fair,
to
that's
use.
I did feel like I was playing with the terrain in most of my games, and the only one I wasn't really playing with the terrain as much was because when you had the rows, you had like 4 tables, and 3 of them had a few more ruins on them than the other one. And that meant that it was actually interesting to pick boards with pairings. I think it was the intention.
So 3 of the tables were more populated with terrain, and one of them wasn't.
It's a bit more open, yes. So now there's a benefit to being able to pick your boards when you're doing the pairings.
That's quite cool. Yeah. I like that. That's an additional strategy. But the argument would be from me still, having not been there, so you two can like nay me if this is wrong, is that Games Workshop themselves don't produce functional scenery for line of sight blocking terrain. They make very beautiful scenery and scenery I want to collect, and it looks awesome and it creates a great narrative setting. And I would never ever argue that. And I think Ray, who does the modular design, Ray Dransfield, you follow him on Twitter. He's made it so that almost all the Sector Mechanica stuff is modular. So like you could just keep buying kits and you can like plug it, like the weird and wonderful ways that you can create scenery is awesome. But is it functional for 40k?
Yeah, I agree with that, because there's this very specific point in one of my games where I wanted to charge a unit from behind a building first. So I had 2 units lined up to charge. One of them was in line of sight, and I wanted the other one to not be within line of sight, so I could charge first, not take Overwatch, and then the other one goes in without Overwatch as well. And I had to be very specific with my placement of that unit, because and only because I've played there before, I inspected the building very carefully to see where all the little windows were. So I had to line up my models perfectly so they weren't I couldn't be seen even a little bit through the little tiny windows in the buildings.
But you could do it, right?
Yeah, you could do it, but
it's not like you have like no way to do it. So at least
yeah,
you can
but like I think someone who wasn't totally used to playing at Warhammer World could fall foul of that, and their opponent would be like, "Well, I can see you through this tiny little hole."
So now they've implemented skill plays.
I would say that like they've still got like a lot to.
That's fair.
And also, I did express this to the new events manager on the morning of the event. I vented my fury at him about Wildwoods and how awful they are.
But you charge everything.
No, everything. No, there should be no Wildwoods.
They should just. I literally said, this is a quote from me directly to him. So you take them all outside in a dumpster and burn them all.
Yeah,
because they're just terrible.
They are terrible.
Because the base is light and the trees are all over the place. Putting models inside is a nightmare. And
especially on a roller battle board, because they slide.
Yeah, they slide around, and also because if you're leaning over it, moving models around, because the trees are in such weird shapes that blend into the base, your eye can't pick it out easily. So when you're moving your hand, you so easily catch a little branch and just shove the base with all your models in it all over the table.
Yeah, I've caught them on an arm sleeve more than once in my life. They're a bane, and they're in both game systems. They're a bane, in my opinion. Yeah. But again, like we've discussed, I think that they don't particularly produce scenery, which is a conversation they have to themselves at some point. But if it seems like the events managers themselves have tried to do something better with it, then that's great.
And I guess with Wildwoods as well in 40k, you could just use craters instead, because if they're trying to do that to achieve, like, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's
craters
like area
look cooler.
terrain.
And also you don't stab yourself in the craters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
So yeah, good. Next up, so So we've done terrain. It was too close for on battle board. Suck. Heat was fine. Food was okay. Event organisation.
I really liked how they implemented the pairings.
So
It was very similar so the way pairings worked is both teams put down one army. You then flipped at the same time. You then put two armies to go up against that army.
Yeah.
And then the army that was originally put down could pick one of those two armies to play against. And then the remaining one would get handed over to each other, to the ones that were left over.
And you enjoyed that?
Yeah,
It's very similar to
I didn't really know how it would properly work because I was new to it. In the first game, I didn't quite get it. We did it, and I was like, oh. And then the second game, second game on, was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I could pick up on like what tactics is in
something to practice in the future.
Yeah.
So what we had was a folder, a notepad that I was writing in, and each rounder had a grid. So it was like our four armies, and then the opposing four armies. And then if we reckon we could beat it, we put a tick, and if we reckon we'd lose to it, we put a cross. And that's basically how we ended up doing our pairings, based on, okay, you can take 3 armies, okay, we'll put you down. If they put down the army that obviously you don't want to play, you can ignore that one and take the other one. And then, or if they put down 2 that you like, you take one that you can play against, but the fewest number of other people can. So it adds another dynamic to the game, which is really cool. I really love team events. My favourite format by far.
And did you both enjoy it? That's the key part.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
I really liked the team event.
I'd love to go again next time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have some comments about the organisation of the event. So after the event, I came away, and this is partially my fault, but I came away from the event not knowing, apart from one team, the team name of any of our opponents. I couldn't remember 1, 2, 3, or 4 their team names at all.
Yeah.
Because when they do the draw at Games Workshop events, and this is only at Games Workshop events, the draw is on a TV screen. You have your player number and your table number.
Yeah.
So the draw is you go look at a TV and you follow some instructions and you go to where they tell you, and that is the draw. Whereas any other events, the draw is either posted online or an app or on a piece of paper, and you're like, oh, I'm playing so and so. Oh, that's exciting, and it's exciting, and you remember those things better.
Yeah.
So if they had a draw where it's like Team James Workshop versus the Purple Nasties, I would instantly know their team name, and I'd get a little giggle out of their name if it was funny or whatever or cool, and I'd remember it. Whereas I've come away from the event, can't remember anyone's
Also,
team name.
do you find it fairly hard to track which teams you played? Like, is it
yes, yeah. When looking back at the draw,
you do talk a lot at events. That's just what people do.
Yeah, when looking back at like the results afterwards, I can't remember.
But that is something you could manage as well.
Yeah, I could have made a more of an effort to ask what their team name is and write it down or whatever like that. So yeah, it's partially, like I said, it's partially me, but I do also feel that they should do the draw with names rather than just here's a list of instructions.
I'd agree with that. I'd like to mirror that.
Slap
Although
on
one of the
Facebook
things I do really like is actually that on their scorecards, or I have a bit of a system now because one was like 5 minutes away. So like I'm going now to the Age of Sigmar Heat this weekend, for instance, because someone was like, "I've got a ticket and you live next door," and I'm like, "Sweet, I'll go." So one of the things that they do quite nicely is when you fill in the scores, is I just take a picture on both sides. So it's become like a bit of a routine for me. And then that's my way. But again, I'm having to track it. Yeah, and I agree. I think that could be a little bit better if it's the same as they've run it before. Fair point and fair criticism, I think. Okay, so what 4 factions did your team consist of, Nick?
So our team had me as Mixed Chaos.
Nice.
And then we had a Mixed Eldar list.
Oh.
And then we had 2 sort of Imperium lists. One was 3 knights plus some guard, and one was 1 knight, like a medium marine detachment, and then a guard detachment as well.
Okay, so nice spread.
Yeah.
Tom, what was in the Purple Nasties?
So I had Yunari, we had Scott Nichols, who won Heat 1, he was running Demons. We had Nick Council, he was running Death Watch and Assassins. And then we had Chris Papadickinson running Tyranids and Genestealer Cult.
Nice. Okay, cool. Was there any thought into either of the 2 team compositions? And
what did we play?
Okay. So yours was what did you play?
I initially was going to take Orcs, but then I decided not to because I didn't think they'd be very good at Games Workshop events. Because mine was just a pure horde combat Orc army. I thought I was just going to get shot off the table. I'm going to hate it. And Bloodletters were just sort of like a bit of a different unit that not many people see.
You don't often see
and
them,
it's
to
a
be
bit
honest.
of a shock factor, like, oh my god, how am I going to deal with 70 Bloodletters kind of thing. And James had James had his 3 knights that he wanted to bring. Paul's played Eldar since the beginning of time, so he was
Nice.
our Eldar player. And Andy has his Marines, and that's basically that was the army that he had because this is a first and only 40k army.
So you guys basically just took armies that your team was made up of armies
again,
you guys had,
Armies that we had, and that we all felt comfortable and pretty good.
and you
using.
swapped around actually. So both of the you also swapped around as well
What do you mean?
because you didn't take orcs, did you?
Well, I was going to take orcs, but I didn't think they'd allow my crystal net guns. So I had to take Eldar.
I would personally
Also,
go,
have a display board for Eldar. So.
I would also personally go and complain if they did allow you to take the crystal bet guns.
Fine, I've got to pay
Even
for
if you weren't at the event.
What are you going to do about it? It's all right.
I would complain. Right, so cool. So do you want to? Should we rifle through
Yep,
the
just battle-
games?
battle through
We've
them.
never talked about like a matchup before, so I am super worried it's just going to take 4 times longer.
I don't remember how we paired, so it'll just be, I guess, our individual
Yeah,
games,
there's
right?
no point going through the pairings and that stuff.
Give away all the secrets.
Okay, so then do you want to just tell us like who played what and then what the result was realistically, and then if something particularly major stood out or not, or would you like to talk about the game?
We can just do the
I
game.
just want to talk about myself.
All right, good.
That's fine.
Perfect.
That's
I mean,
Perfect. Which is why we do a podcast.
Yeah.
So there's already a shot up here, Nick.
Yes.
I've got on the screen versus 2 Imperial Knights. So this will be your first game.
Oh yeah, so this should be my game 1.
Spicy.
So what was quite cool in game 1, so obviously we play at James' Workshop, which is a glorified shed at the bottom of James's garden, which we call James' Workshop. And we were playing a bunch of lads from Wales who basically do the same thing. They just play in garden sheds at the bottom of their gardens.
Oh, nice.
So it was
You
like,
say that, I'm getting them to talk to the ETC team.
oh really?
They're going to be the Welsh ETC team.
Scouted them.
Oh, if they're enthusiastic about it, I'd love to have them on.
Oh, that's sweet. All right, nice.
So
What was the team called? Do you remember? This is the issue. This is I like how you
something
did
in
all,
sheds.
You did all this prefix so you could just be like, oh, it's Games Workshop for excellence.
Something about an athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about being in a shed.
Good. All right.
So I was playing against. So he had Admech Battalion, and then he had a Valiant,
Yes.
an Atropos, and a Gallant. He went first. So the one of the big plays that I made, I think, in the first
Big
turn.
play.
Big
play.
play.
So I
Technology,
used
big
so I
play.
used 1 unit of 5 Chaos Space Marines. I used the Alpha Legion infiltrate stratagem to move them 9 inches forward before his first turn, which limited the distance that his Atropos and Gallant could go in his first turn. So that meant I had another turn to throw some guardsmen in front of his way, just to slow him down, basically. The Devadio Dreadnoughts I had did quite a lot of good damage. I did the classic shoot at that thing until he rotates Iron Shields and then shoot the other thing.
Hey, Lamau.
Did quite a lot of damage to the Gallant, and then the 30 Bloodletters and then 20 Bloodletters came in my turn too. The 30 Bloodletters killed the Atropos. I had to fight twice to kill him, but they just deleted the Atropos. And they also finished off the Gallant because it had 1 wound left, so I had to throw a few wounds into it. And then I had 20 Bloodletters go into his backfield objective because it was Beachhead, so we had a home and away and a neutral. So the 20 Bloodletters charged the guys on the objective, but then didn't charge the guys in the centre and then wrapped around them, so took 1 hostage. So I had 20 Bloodletters on his objective and then not be able to shoot them as well. And then, so I held in reserve for the third turn my Demon Prince and 20 more Bloodletters because he had his Valiant left. So his Valiant was rampaging towards my Derridios, killing all my guardsmen. And then my 20 Bloodletters got in. Demon Prince failed. And then he ran away.
-2 as well.
But then my next turn, my Demon Prince got in and one-shotted him. Chopped him in half
Perfect.
straight away.
Perfect.
And that was pretty much game at that point.
Yeah, something we should have mentioned at the top actually is that obviously it's at Warhammer, so these are Games Workshop missions, so from
Yeah.
chapter approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the mission format. Do you remember who your team played against? Some of your mates played against some other guys.
Paul played with his Eldar against Gene Stealer Cults, which
Yep.
he got a win.
Nice.
James played with his Knights and Guard against mixed Eldar.
Oh.
He lost that game.
Okay.
And then Andy played with his Marines and Guard against a mixed Chaos, but mainly Nurgle list.
Okay.
What was quite funny is, so this tournament was James and Andy's first ever tournament. So
One of
what
them.
we found hilarious was for James's first tournament game ever, we gave him mixed Eldar bullshit.
That's the appropriate. It reminds me of
Welcome
Tom Wallace
to Warhammer.
having to play
Me.
Mr. Tom
I like
Layton, his first ever tournament game.
First game.
Welcome to Warhammer. Yeah, it should be everyone's first game, shouldn't it? That,
Yeah.
should not be the
Zelda.
that should not be the intro game that you.
It can only get better from here.
Tom, do you remember your matchup?
Yeah, so we were playing Geeks Wargaming,
Oh, nice.
and they had brought all Imperial lists.
Okay.
And I ended up playing against Robin, who is running 1 Crusader and 2 Gallants. And then he had a lot of Blood Angels with the Smash Captains and the Intercessors and all that. And this essentially ended up being, I think it was Beachhead the mission, right? So I didn't want my Castellans.
They have a YouTube channel, Geeks War Game.
I think so, yeah. So they had the Crusader in the centre. I didn't like that one because with the Gallants, I can deal with them just by blocking them off because we have the 2 line of sight blockers in the centre. So my first priority was, right, I need to kill this Castellan. So I fire everything into the Castellan, charge my Shining Spears into the Castellan, just about kill it. I lose all my Shining Spears for it, but the problem he now has is he can't really get on the Scatterbikes. So I throw my Guardsmen in the way, and
That's his own right.
yeah, and I need to kill one of the Gallants, and I reduce. So I don't touch the other one, apart from a Guardsman that did 1 wound to it in combat when he charged it, or when I shot it with a pistol. And then the other one was used to 1 wound, but it was okay because I had a Guardian Storm Guardian net in front. He charged with Storm Guardian net. He killed 6 Storm Guardians, and the remaining 2 Storm Guardians proceeded to punch it in the face and kill the knight in close combat.
Oh, nice.
It was very funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. So we only had 1 Gallant left. So what I ended up doing was just taking my entire army and just ring around the Rosie, running around the line of sight blocking terrain.
Yeah.
Because the knight obviously can't walk through it. So I'm just running round and round the terrain, and his Gallant just can't keep up. He does make an 11-inch charge into a wave serpent though, which is kind of fun. But yeah, I ended up just cutting out the remaining 2 Gallants after I killed the Crusader and won that game.
Oh, nice. And your mates played, do you remember?
I don't remember what they played. They all played Imperial kind of lists, but we ended up going 4-0 that round.
Nice.
So it was
nice. And then Nick, your team.
We got a draw, so 2 wins
draw.
apiece.
Okay, nice. And how did you? And Tom, I know you've obviously you're a historied veteran of team events, but always really fun when it starts out that way. Like
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah.
nice supporting the team. And Nick, was it cool like watching your mates like play along and yeah?
Yeah, because I've been going to tournaments for ages, and I'm trying to get these guys into tournaments. So it was, yeah.
It was fun watching them.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you all do the after talking?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
you just
yeah.
like, oh, I could have beat him. Or, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it was sweet.
And then round 2, do you remember what teams you played?
Round 2.
Round 2.
I played a team that I can't remember the name.
Games HR's fault, probably.
Yeah. I think they were team number 5. Something like that.
Good. Right. And what did they play with?
These guys were, they looked all quite young and they were quite new to the game, and the guy that I played, I think his name was Adam.
Sweethearts.
He said they were a bunch of sweethearts, yeah.
Oh, what a bunch of
But
sweethearts.
he said they were just, he took on purpose a more simplified version of what he would like to take because he was quite new to the game, new to tournaments. He was just there to sort of have a good time and try and learn how to play better, basically.
Okay.
So I played against, so we had like a tank company and some infantry. So we had like maybe 6 or 7 Lehman Russ, a couple of tank commanders, and then like 30 guardsmen and some characters.
Okay.
I went first, and I managed to delete all of his infantry because he just basically screened his tanks with his infantry.
Yeah.
Whereas what he should have done is screened his infantry with his tanks, because this was narrow the search, so it's just the central objective. So it's
Vulnerable save one, right?
Yeah, and the null zone in the middle. So it's great for me if I can kill his infantry, because that can stop my bloodletters charging in where they want to, and it's also great for me because that reduces his number of models to score the objective.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a lot there in the
No,
picture.
well, this is after my first turn. So I knew he had lots of Punisher tanks and stuff like that. So I hid my infantry either behind a big building or at the back, and at the front. So in the middle of my army, I had my 2 Dorito dreadnoughts just sat there like bosses shooting shit. And then I had in that lovely Sylvaneth Wildwood in the middle, I had 15 Marines.
How did you manage to fit 15 Marines in the Sylvaneth Wildwood, Nikos?
Just jamming them in. Jamming them in.
Just jamming them in.
Yeah. My
tactic is always just to snap a few of the
Trees.
the branches off.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
obviously a joke. I would never do that. That would be
Take some
horrible.
clippers to
Yeah,
next
it's
event.
just a clip around it.
Break into the barbed wire fence.
Yeah. Actually, most people don't know that I actually play Warhammer tournaments as a narrative bonsai enthusiast.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm in game and
Oh,
while
gardening.
I'm playing.
Right.
Yeah, 40k is just a side project. I just actually want to trim the trees down. Sorry, please carry on.
Okay. So at the front of my army, near capturing the objective, mainly I had my 15 Marines. So they were in the cover. So at range with his Punisher tanks, he's got like 40 shots with the Punisher tanks, but they're hitting on 5 because I'm Alpha Legion, and I've got a 2-up save against it.
And
so
there's actually a nice piece of line up like a train in the middle.
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was relatively safe there. He did have a cheeky Vindicator assassin in one of the buildings,
Fucking
but
cheeky.
my lords were like. So what was quite cool about my list is I had 2 Chaos Lords. One of them was my Warlord, but he had I Am Alfarius, so you had to kill both, basically.
Yeah.
So my Warlord is generally bait. So he runs around at the forefront, buffing the Marines, and then going, kill me, kill me, kill me. And then the other guy hides at the back with the Doridios. So once he's dead, he's like, no, actually, I'm in the Warlord. I'm safe over here. So I had one guy hiding in a ruin, and then other guy running around, waving his hands around at the Vindicator.
Nice.
He didn't kill him, and then I moved him out of line of sight of the Vindicator afterwards, so he could never get him.
Oh.
So I killed a lot of his infantry turn 1. He shot back and didn't do too much, and then my Bloodletters came in. I could have brought them all in at once, but I held 1 unit back because I knew it would. I didn't want to kill him too fast, to be honest, because my Bloodletters had nothing to stop them going in. And I just need to tag all of his tanks, and then he loses, basically.
Okay.
Killed a couple of tanks. Demon Prince came in, killed a tank as well. Wrapped up his Warlord. So I took the Warlord's tank hostage with one of the Bloodletters. And then we called it, I think, turn 4 or something like that, because I think I was well ahead on points, and most of his tanks couldn't really shoot because they were in
how the
combat.
game ended up. There's a picture.
Yeah.
Bloodletters over there, and there's no tanks.
Yeah.
No tanks.
No,
Sad face.
because the Bloodletters did pretty well at killing their tanks. 'Cause they're toughness 8, but generally I'm strength 5 or 6 with AP 3,
So many on
damage
5
1 or
at the
2.
time,
Yeah, so they're cutting through pretty well.
Good. All right,
Yeah.
Tom, and then the rest of your team, how did they do, Nick?
So James drew against all Drakari list. Andy beat all Custodia list.
Nice.
And then Paul beat a Zinch mixed Chaos list.
Oh, cool. All right, Tom.
So we were playing team number 18,
Yeah.
which was Team Draco, which
Team
is the dude
Draco.
from London that we know.
Yeah.
And I ended up playing against George, who I know from Team Wales, know quite well. And he was running triple Knight. They were all Crusaders with, I think it was Battle Cannon and...
Avenger Gatling Cannon and the Thermal...
Oh, no, yeah, it was Thermal, yeah.
Thermal
Yeah.
Spear.
And then he had the guard detachment with all the things and a detachment of Adeptus Mechanicus as well. With
Cool.
all the things. So in this one, we get the Hammer and Anvil deployment, and what we want to try and do is give him 6 inches at the back to stick his knights. And that way I can give him first turn, and then he can come and he can't hit me. But then I have a turn to clear his troops off the centre objective every single time. So he sits back, I give him first turn. He has a couple of pot shots at things because I phantasm back some guys. And essentially that's that. I lob my Shining Spears in, clear a bunch of guardsmen. But I know I can't really kill the knights.
Yeah.
So this game was pretty done for me because all I needed to do was I needed 4 turns of just lobbing units into the centre of the board. And if I can do that...
Because you're going second.
Yeah, and if I do that for 4 turns, then you factor in his first blood and his first strike even, which we both have, and then his line breaker, which is going to get. If the game ends turn 5, I can win. If it ends turn 6, I can get a draw. Unfortunately, I couldn't get 4 turns of doing that because he just did too much damage. So what ended up happening at one point was he shot the Endless Fury Relic, which has 14 shots. I lightning fast reflex to get -1 to hit, and he hit 20 times. Alright, that's good value.
Good.
So that was fine. We did have a bit of a debate. I'm not going to say it was like in bad faith or anything like that because I know George, he's a good guy. But I did shoot up a unit of 10 guardsmen.
Yeah.
And then when I turned around again, he was putting a model back down.
Yeah.
And because of the way the lines work on the boards, as you can see on that, you can see this was in turn 2 where it was 12 inches from the centre. So he was right in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
So if there's a toe going over that line, it means that he's going to be in range.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what's that? He's like, it's company commander. I was like, but there wasn't a company commander then. And he was insisting there was. I was insisting there wasn't. And he was saying that he hadn't moved anything. And I was saying, but you've put it back down. He's like, yeah, I just picked it up and put it back down again when I realised it wasn't a guardsman.
Yeah.
And as I say, I don't believe it was like any bad faith on his part, but at the same time, if it was like BTC or something like this, I would be calling a ref over that.
Okay.
Because as far as I was concerned, he wasn't there. But I mean, I could be wrong. It's perfectly reasonable. But I'd say he's a good dude.
A contentious
But
issue, though.
It's just you just need to be careful when picking up models and knowing which one's which, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. So yeah, don't blame him at all for it. It was fine. He's a good guy.
Okay.
So no problem.
And then, so you end up losing that game?
I did end up losing that game, but that was fine. We all lost our games that round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was
Did
what it
he upgrade any of his knights with any extra gubbins before the game?
was. What do you mean the extra?
Like, buy an extra relic?
I don't remember.
Okay.
He might have done. Why?
Well, I was just asking, did he mark which ones had which? Which is I'm just foreshadowing something for
Right. Okay.
for
That's
round 5. That's all.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll wait until we hear that. 'Cause
Okay,
This
so then-
is generally the first I'm hearing of it. So.
Okay, so then in your round 3?
Our round 3 was against a team called, I think they were number 17 or something.
So not Draco.
No,
not
no.
Draco.
No,
Team
no.
not Draco.
So all of the guys in this team had, I think they all had,
He's a basilisk.
they all had Imperial Guard armies
that's
basically.
cool.
Right, okay, I like that.
Yeah, so I was paired again. This game 3 was one of my favourite games from the event. It was brilliant. Not only because the army I was playing against was cool and interesting, the game was pretty epic, but also the guy I played against, Ollie, he was pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
So he had 9 basilisks, and then two Hydra, what are they called? The ones that are
Wyverns.
46 like mortar shots.
Wyverns.
Two wyverns, and then he had like 6 units of Death Corps of Krieg guys with some characters.
Okay.
So he went first, and I took it. It took a long time for his shooting phase because it was 9 basilisks, just lots of shots.
And
He
then
had,
I'll have to roll random numbers. And all
yeah,
sorts.
yeah. But he just bombed the shit out of me for the first turn. Killed both of my Demidos and like half a Marine squad as well.
Yeah, they're all quite scary.
Yeah, but I hid again in one of those lovely wildwoods there.
You like these wildwoods, don't you?
for-
I don't like them, but if this is the only area terrain in my deployment zone, I'm going
Then
to
you're going to
fucking go
stand
in
on
it.
it, yeah. Games Workshop, please make a hill.
Yeah.
No, please, we'll slide down there.
Sorry, a circular column.
That's better.
Yeah.
Oh, we
An
do love a
unexplicable circular column made of magic.
Yeah. I don't know if you can go to I think the second picture.
This is the second picture.
Oh right, okay. Maybe the first one.
Okay.
It's
But
might take a while.
so so the first 2 turns I had to just bunker down with my Marines in the woods and my guardsmen.
Yeah.
So I knew the guardsmen would take a lot of fire, so I just put them all on an extreme flank, basically, to charge at the basilisks.
Yeah.
And this was the not vital intel, cut off the head mission. So you had to give 3 characters some intel points. Yeah, that picture. So if you have a look on the left, those guardsmen there, you can see on the bottom left, those guys are the heroes of the game.
What did they do?
So we'll come to that. So in my second turn, I deep striked all my bloodletters. They're guardsmen,
Okay.
renegade guardsmen. So in my second turn, all my bloodletters came in. 30 came in the centre, 20 either side. The herald was on the right hand side, and the demon prince deployed in the middle. So he deployed within 3 of the central objectives. So the start of my next turn, if he was still there, he'd score a bonus point, which he did so. And then I multi-charged loads of guard units, but not one. So there's 1 unit of guard in the wood, so I didn't charge those. And in combination with the 30 and the 20, they both consolidated into that 1 unit. So both of them were safe from shooting. I charged in to try and assassinate one of his characters. I did eventually manage to fight twice and get round one of his characters and eventually kill it, which was one of his characters with intel. So that's denied him about 3 or 4 points during the course of the game.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't do anything about so my bloodletters on the left failed their charge, which is the 3rd time it's ever happened to me.
Wow. Do you want to give people the stats on what the charge is?
I don't know the stats, but basically you get a 3d6 charge plus 1, and you can use a command point reroll, or if your hero's nearby, reroll everything. So I rolled like a 1, 1, and a 2 with them, so I was never going to get in. So they just died. So because I had barely anything left, just the bloodletters, it was so key that I needed to get them into combat with a unit in his turn, because then he couldn't shoot my characters or the bloodletters. And then, but later on, most of the bloodletters died. There was a lot of slugging, a lot of fighting going on. It was pretty awesome because the Death Courts of Krieg guys were like not running away from the bloodletters. They were like attaching bayonets and charging into combat, fighting when they're dying. It was
Being
bloody,
proper guardsmen.
Yeah, it was a bloody mess. It was pretty awesome.
Getting involved.
Nice.
And like the shot that you can see there, it was basically what I had left in my turn 4. 3 characters and
That's
some
all you
guards
need,
fighting an army. But the guardsmen that I mentioned earlier, they were fucking heroes and they won me this game because in the later turns, like maybe turn 5 and 6 and 7, they were still alive. I charged them up the board. He had 2 guardsmen left from one unit. No, 3. And I charged them with I think I had 8 guardsmen left. I didn't maximise my pile-in, so I had less attacks than I could have optimally had, because I didn't want to kill those 3 fellas.
You just wanted to be locked down.
Killed one, wrapped around him, so those 8 guardsmen fighting those 2 guardsmen were stopping 9 basilisks shooting my characters in the wood. And all the rest of his army as well.
And you can't shoot the guardsmen because
Can't shoot the guardsmen because in combat.
You got to charge for basilisks.
Yeah. So he later on he charged a basilisk into that unit. I killed the remaining 2 guardsmen, but then consolidated around the basilisk. So I took the basilisk hostage, and then it was stopping loads of shooting as well.
no.
So and then I think it went to 6 or 7, and I ended up having 1 of my Chaos Lords left alive, with 2 wounds left, and the game ended, and that was it. And
you won the game.
I won by
Sweet.
1 point.
Well then.
By 1 point.
Awesome. So, like, the scenario was really fun because it
Yeah,
was a scenario.
'cause
As opposed to murder and stuff, it was a scenario.
Yeah,
game.
he murdered the shit out of me the whole game, but I played the scenario better than him, I think, because I assassinated one of his characters with one of the intel points.
Yeah.
I got my Demon Prince to center, scored a point, and then ran away and kept my characters alive.
Right.
So, but it was an awesome game.
Well, congratulations.
Good fun.
Sounds fun.
Cool looking
I like
army
that he's
too.
only got 2 wounds left as well. That's funny.
Yeah.
Tom, what was yours?
So I was playing against, I can't remember what team it was, but quite local, I think. We're all from like Beaston area and what have you. And when we were doing the pairings, I got Necrons. And I was like,
Ooh.
oh yes.
Can't wait to play Necrons.
Can't wait to play Necrons. That should be alright.
Yeah, that's tasty.
So we had a squad of 5 destroyers with the Cryptic that jumps them.
Yeah.
He had a squad of Wraiths with a Transcendent Catan. He had a Doomsday Arc. He had a Triax Stalker and like 30 Immortals.
Yeah.
So he gets first turn. He jumps across and kills 11 bikes with his destroyers.
Yeah.
And they're placed in this ruin thing, which is kind of towards off center of the board. And I'm like, that's okay. I've lost 11 bikes because now they're stood in a prime position for my Shining Spears to charge him. I don't even need to quicken him. I can protect him. I can kill this unit of destroyers, move them, then charge the Doomsday Arc. And then the only thing that can hurt me are the Wraiths, which are on the other side of the board.
I don't motions.
So I'm okay. I'm all good. We then get to the psychic phase.
Yeah.
I pass 3 once to hit on the Shining Spears.
Yeah.
And that's it. I fail Doom
Oh, what?
Oh, what?
on the Destroyers.
Yeah.
I fail Guide.
Whoa.
I fail Soul Burst.
Oh, dear.
And I fail my Protect Jinx.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear.
Very bad.
And reveal.
I didn't have that because I'm not an idiot. We then got to the shooting phase.
Yeah.
I fired my entire Eldar army into the destroyers because it doesn't matter if I take away a bunch of destroyers.
Good.
There's a cryptic underneath which can charge with Soul Burst and then move out the way, so my Shining Spears are alright.
All right.
I kill 1 destroyer
1.
and 1 unit of 9 immortals with Tempest launchers.
How dare it?
So there's 4 destroyers sat in this building. It's alright, guys. I've got a 4-inch charge to get all my Shining Spears into these destroyers, then I can jump out and then I'm fine.
No problem. Make that charge.
2 and a 1. I've CPU roll over 1.
201.
And I've 1.
That happens way
And
more.
then my
than it
Shining
should.
Spears are sat in the middle of the dicks hanging out.
Yeah.
He's lost 1 of his guns, which can get back up by the way.
All right, yes.
And I have lost all of my bikes pretty much.
Oh, dear.
So I'm like, I've tried to screen off a race, doesn't work. He walks his race round, beats the crap out of Shining Spears, shoots the rest of the bikes, and I'm sat there with a Wave Serpent and some Psychers.
And you're like,
Go.
why am I here?
And it was one of those. Like,
Did you just laugh your way through it?
Well, I tried to, but it was one of those where my opponent was really nice about it, but I was sat there for 2.5 hours, and it was like, I'm not even playing the game.
Yeah.
It was one of those. He was really nice about it, as I say, and like I felt sorry for him because obviously I'm just like, He's like playing PvE.
Yeah.
It's like
You're just
I'm
losing
the
against
environment.
yourself.
I'm the environment, and he's the P. So I'm just sat there like, I can't. I spent the entire game trying to kill this unit of destroyers.
Oh, okay.
Didn't do it.
Right.
He had one destroyer left at the end of the game.
That's hilarious. So you lost the game.
I lost the game. My entire team won.
Oh.
But I lost to this
Oh,
Necron
that's
army.
side down.
Was there a gentle ribbing that occurred?
No, they're fine. They're fine with it. So it's just like, all right, well, it's one of those. So,
You gotta have them.
yeah, I haven't had one as bad, and I've like ever as bad as that, and I've been playing 40k.
And also a sad way to finish the day, right?
Oh, he was fine. No, it wasn't really sad. It was just like, all right, you do you. That's good. You just you play your game. I'll be, just sat here watching you roll dice. Because,
All right. So the teams at this stage, you guys are on. Nick, your team is on the end of Saturday.
Well, I think the points were like, it was like your collection of wins and losses
yeah.
together.
So we were on 7 wins, 5 losses.
Okay.
We were on 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we were on
Right.
10 or something like that.
I'm really
10
hoping
wins.
for a
10 wins.
game of teams versus each other at some stage. So going into Sunday, Nick, what did your team then end up? Who did you guys
So
play?
we were playing
7.
against, I think their team name was 28.
Games Workshop thought you don't know.
I
the
think
name.
there was some like Heroes of the Imperium or something like that.
All right, good.
So we came against a team and we looked at their list and we were like, I didn't quite know how they were, like, because we were on the second table.
Yeah.
Didn't quite know how they were there. Okay, hear me out.
Okay,
Hear me out.
That's pretty strong.
Yikes.
Okay, so one of
Just
the
lost 2
lists.
listeners.
All right, one of the lists was Gulliman and 30 Terminators.
That's good. How are we going to kill that?
All right, okay, interesting. Next.
One was
I mean, Tartarus or Cataphracti, because that makes a huge difference.
just
Regular.
standard
Roll a
regulars.
lot of shots.
That's
With-
tough.
One was I think it was a knight and some Death Watch, which I suppose is all right. Then they had an all night list,
Which is all right.
which is all right, and then I can't remember what the third one was, the fourth one, sorry.
Okay.
But we felt pretty confident about the matchup because
It was the Terminator list that threw you, right? You were like, what is
Yeah,
this? Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay.
He was
I see where
bringing
you're coming
Terminators.
from. Yeah.
And
That makes me feel good.
I felt like I finally got how to engineer good matchups at this point.
Right.
So we put the knights out first, and then they put their knights and another army against it. We chose the non-knights.
Yeah.
I can't read that now.
Yeah,
So we chose the non-knights. So basically, we engineered me against the knights, basically, which was fantastic for me because he just had Castellan, Crusader, Gallant, and then 2 Warglaves.
Yeah.
So in this game, I felt pretty confident about that because I know Bloodletters eat knights, and he's got nothing to screen them. So he went first, and this was Vital Intelligence. So it was where there's 5 objectives and it bounces around, or all of them are special. Or
Yeah. Roll a 6, they all become special. I quite like that mission.
Yeah, it's a good one. What was a great benefit to me in this mission was I had lots of cheap characters that could sit on objectives, and as long as there was a unit in the way, you couldn't shoot them off.
Yeah.
So my 25-point evil renegade commanders were brilliant in this game because they just sat on objective each,
Just scoring.
smoking a cigarette and scoring points.
Oh, nice.
So basically, he went first, killed 1 Dorito. I went first, did nothing. In my first turn, I literally did nothing. I moved the model 4 inches. I moved some models away from a Dorito just in case it exploded. His next turn, it did explode when he died, so I was pretty pleased with that decision.
Nice.
And then, obviously, my second turn, all my Bloodletters came in as well. And
Did some mullering.
so this was the one where I had the building. So I had 2 20s going against the Crusader. One was out of line of sight, which I tried to charge first, and it failed to charge for the 4th time. I failed to charge with Bloodletters ever. And then the 20 Bloodletters had to go in, took quite a lot of damage. Only about 10 got in, and then the Demon Prince failed his charge against that one. And then the 30 Bloodletters got into the Gallant and killed it in 1 round, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a picture of this one.
I got
Yeah.
a picture there.
But then, so after, and then he took his 3rd turn. He killed most of the 20. He killed the 20 Bloodletters that failed the charge. He finished off the Bloodletters that got in, and then he whittled down my 30 Bloodletters to like 7.
Right.
Oh wow.
But this is where
It's very colourful.
this is where I started to outplay him. Yeah, he didn't see it coming basically.
Right, nice.
So he moved over his Castellan to the far left, away from my Demon Prince, and then a couple of Warglaive went in. He shot the crap out of Bloodletters, and I was removing them to give him a longer charge.
Yeah.
But also baiting him closer towards the Demon Prince.
Nice.
So he made the charge into the 20 Bloodletters, killed them, and there was 5 left and a couple over here. And I paid 2 command points to stop them running away.
Yeah.
So at the start of my turn, his Castellan was now closer to my Demon Prince than it was before in combat. So my Demon Prince can charge in, walk in, fine. I moved up my Demon Prince, but then charged my Herald into his Warglaive, which was next to the Castellan, and then my Demon Prince could charge both of them without fear of taking Overwatch. I only rolled a 5, which was enough to get me into the Warglaive, but then with my pile-in, I got into within 1 inch of the Castellan and then one-shot him.
Oh,
nice.
It just chopped me in half. It did like 8. I think it did 8d6 damage plus 4d3 mortal wounds.
What, from the Demon Prince?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mental. Because every time I played Knights, I paid 3 command points for 2 relics on the demon characters. So the Crimson Crown on the Herald, so every 6 to wound within 6 generates an extra attack.
Yeah.
And then the Skullweaver Axe, so it's the super knight killing axe.
on average, just the 8d6 kills it.
Yeah,
Wow.
just murders knights. So before my turn happened, he was like talking to me, and the subtext of what he was saying was, I've pretty much won, haven't I? That's pretty great. But then, as soon as I killed his Castellan, like the hope drained out.
Oh, oh, bless him.
You
But
can
like-
see a big gap in
Yeah.
the board now.
But at this point, the picture you can see on screen, I've got nothing left on the table apart from some characters on the objectives.
This is
But I've
female,
scored.
yeah.
But I've scored more points and I'm ahead. It goes to 7 turns, and I got a bit scared at turn 7 because on turn 6 we rolled a 6, so all of them were
worth more.
worth 2,
Yeah.
which gave him a big boost in points because I could only capture 1 or 2 at this point, and he could capture 3. And then it went to 7, and if he killed my Warlord, I think he would have won. But
thankfully
my Warlord managed to hide and keep himself safe.
Okay.
Yeah, and in this game, the only stratagems I used was saving guys from running away from morale,
So
just to keep them
reward
stick
points,
around on the objectives.
Wow. Good guy then.
Yeah, it's good for a game. I think his name's Stephen.
Go on, Steve. Oh, nice.
But he was a bit upset to lose to my Bloodletters. He didn't
yeah.
think he was going to lose with
It's
his
not real
unbeatable
army.
knights.
Yeah, combat army in 40k. Get out.
What the fuck is that?
How'd the rest of your team do?
I
Okay.
think everyone else won that game.
Well done, boys.
Yeah, max points. I think that
Okay.
round.
Do you remember Will from the LCO? He was running the Seraptic Wraith constructs.
Oh,
yes, I think I saw them.
I was playing him in
recognised
his
them,
team next round.
Oh,
so
nice.
he brought 2 Seraptic Wraith constructs.
Tom, you got into the fun mid-tables.
Yeah, great. So I was playing his mate Michael.
Nice.
And he was running Admech. So
Yeah.
he had a big brick of destroyers, of 9 destroyers. He had Belisarius Crawl,
Nice.
because that's what he does. He
Were
crawls.
they Rising Destroyers? No.
I think it might have been, but I'm not
Were
sure.
they orange or red?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm colourblind. Then we had the Cataphront, the Castellan robot things.
Thank you, by the way, for just explaining to me how I can justify any painting I ever do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell
that's why I
everyone.
use crystals. That have
So
any
I would
colours.
just like everyone to know right
Yeah.
now that I'm colourblind.
Yeah, people keep judging me, but you know.
I'm colourblind.
So then he had then he had a Vindicator Assassin.
Yeah.
He had 2 of those big crab walkers, one which was really good, one which was really shit.
Okay. On a Jujun callers.
Yes, those things. I think that was most of his army actually. He had a lot of rangers as well. So I had this nice big ruin in my deployment zone with a big front line of sight blocker.
Did
I
ruin
stick
the
my
game.
entire armory in there, apart from my Wave Serpent, and I stick 1 unit of Guardians in reserve as well, along with my Striking Scorpions. And then he takes the first turn because he hasn't had it all event. Walks his robots into the center of the board so he can do the strat whenever he wants. He then shoots 5 bikes to death. I jump my Shining Spears over, kill all of his robots. And now at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident because the only unit that I have that can kill the robots is the Shining Spears.
Yeah.
So I need to get to those robots before he gets to my Shining Spears. Shining Spears gets to his robots first, kill all the robots. That's fine. He kills all the Shining Spears in return. The problem he now has is I can kill the rest of his army with my Scatter Lasers and my Dark Reapers. So I start mowing through his destroyers with the scatter lasers on the bikes.
Did you have the 5-up info on them from Vigilus?
Yes, he did. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because I have no AP value.
Yeah.
So, and he had the shrouding a lot because he had call. So he rolled 2d6 for his counter calls, and then he could plus or minus them. So if he ever got towards a 4, he'd get a cover for the entire army. Which
So
is
he's adding to his cover saves, what you say?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And we spoke about that after the game, that maybe he should have used the destroyers to screen his robots and then push slowly, rather than try and get his destroyers in the center of the board immediately, drop the stratagem, and then just hose everything that comes near. Because I've got the speed where I can just get on him straight away. The Dune Claws were kind of an issue. They had one that had a lot of shots. I started smiting him out to death. That was kind of fun. But essentially what happened was, once the destroyers were down, I just outshot him. Because I have a range and I'm just bouncing around, being annoying.
Yeah, and did he have the plasma culverns on them, or did he have the...
I have plasma culverns.
Nice.
Yeah.
I really like that
I know
unit.
that plasma culverns.
Really like it, especially now you can give him a 5-up invuln.
Yeah, but Vigilus detachment does work for them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he was a really, really good dude. Really enjoyed playing with Michael.
Oh, sweet. How's the rest of your team do?
We won all 4.
Oh, nice. Well done, team.
Yes, we were going into the last
And that
one.
team was a fun team to play.
Yeah, but they're really, really nice.
What was their team name?
I don't remember, I'm afraid. I think I think they all came from a Just Play store. But yeah.
Oh, nice. And then final round.
Final round.
Rick,
Fight.
Yeah, who was in your final round?
So we were playing Team Draco on the top table in the final round.
Oh, so you potentially was going for the win.
No, I think they were way too far ahead for us to win.
Oh, okay.
But we were still excited to be on the final table, the final
That
final
is
If
round.
you went
exciting.
4-0, you were ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. That was we were all super excited to be
Doing so well, especially with two new
we didn't,
people.
Yeah, exactly. 2 new people to tournaments. We were on top table final round. We'd surpassed our expectations at that point, and we were just happy with anything. We're like, if we get anything out of this game, it's a bonus. Like I said to everyone, the expectation is that you lose the game, and get anything, it's fine. So we did lose all the games.
Nice.
Spoilers.
Cut into the end.
Yeah. So I don't know if you got a picture of my game somewhere,
I do,
Rob.
right there.
But I'll briefly tell you what did happen in the game, and then I'll tell you what I should have done, because I had a sleepless night the night afterwards. I was like, God damn, because I definitely could have won that game.
Okay. You're playing Knights again.
Yeah, so I was playing George, who Tom played earlier in the earlier rounds. So yeah, he had three knights with Avenger Gatling cannons and thermal spears. I can't remember what they're called.
Thermal spears, the warclaves, they're thermal.
Oh, thermal cannons,
Yeah.
and then he had guard battalion and an admet battalion.
Okay.
So I got the chance to go first. I threw 10 guardsmen forward as like a little blocker for the knights to stop his movement as much as possible.
Get them, boys.
And then I shot everything I could at his infantry to kill as much as possible. So I got my first strike, killed, because only troops could score in this mission. It was 4 pillars, this one. So I did as much damage to his infantry as possible in turn 1. Then he charged forward. He had quite a good first turn, more damage than I expected. I made a mistake in leaving some marines on the boxes, the crates, a bit too far forward, which meant he could move a knight and get a charge on them in first turn, whereas I shouldn't have given him the opportunity to do that.
Yep.
And then my turn 2, my bloodletters came in. I put 20 in the corner against some troops. I put 20 against some troops, but also to tag one of his knights as well. And then 30 in one. And then I was gambling that the prince would get in on one of the knights. So I was trying to kill one knight with the 30 and one knight with the prince. It was a bit of a gamble because I thought I was up against it a little bit. And I thought, if my prince gets in, I'll maybe win the game. If he doesn't, I've lost. So he failed the charge, re-rolled it, failed the charge again. And then it was just a downhill struggle from there. And then a turn later, we basically called it. I said, I'm just, lost all my bloodletters, lost everything. I'm just not going to win the game at this point. So what I should have done is something I thought about before the games when I was designing my list. I should have used the Alpha Legion infiltrate stratagem, so a 9-inch move on all 3 of my Marine squads to get them 9 inches up the board, which is something you wouldn't have expected, to use all my anti-infantry on his troops, just kill him dead as much as possible, accept that the Marines are probably going to die. And then when the bloodletters came in, I was playing the mission too much in this game. What I think I should have done is just gone, right, my win condition here is just murder the knights and then win the game with what I can.
And you can do that by clearing the screen.
Well, he had no screen because he charged them all forward. There was nothing blocking the knights from me charging them. So I should have just gone, right, 20 into 1, 30 into 1, and maybe the prince getting in if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done. And I think had I done that, I think I would have won the game. But I didn't, which is a bit frustrating.
Oh, that is frustrating.
But the reason I asked Tom the question earlier is because I had a bit of a go at George. Not a massive go. I had a bit of a go at him, though, halfway through the game. Because at the start of the game, he was like, oh, I'm buying Iron Bulwark, and I'm buying 2 relics. This one's got Sanctuary. This one's got the 2+ armor save. And I was like, cool, fair enough.
Sanctuary's 4++, right? Or 5+.
Sanctuary's a 5+ in combat. I was like, oh, that's cool. So his Knight with Fury was rampaging down the left flank, shooting and charging in. Yeah. And that was the one I lined up my 30 Bloodletters against to charge. So just before I was doing my charge, George was like, oh, right, this one's the one with Sanctuary. And this one's got the 2+ armor. So I was like, hang about. No, your last turn, that was Fury, and this was Sanctuary. Which one is it? I'm pretty sure this one's the one with Fury. And then later on in the game, another instance happened where the items were swapping about willy-nilly around the knights. And at this point, I was a bit frustrated, and I just blankly said to him, it's not my job to track what your knights have. Yeah. That's your responsibility. And I said you should get tokens or a little piece of paper to mark it out so it's clear for you and your opponent.
And it's not like you don't do exactly the same. Well, you have the paper that you put on
the
knights, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I ran to the Hellstorm event, that's exactly what I did. I had a post-it note on each knight with the thing written on it, so I could never forget.
All of his knights painted identically.
They were all identical loadout. The only differences was one had a shield on his nipple.
One had it in his left arm.
Yeah, and one had an Avenger Cannon on the left arm.
I mean, to give some context, I'm at the stage now with Age of Sigmar, and I will be doing it with 40k when I start painting some new stuff. As I've talked to you guys, like when I paint up different units of Orc Boys, they're going to be just different coloured.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to be like... But previously I've done different coloured bases, like the rim of the base, or like some people use elastic bands. I'm going to be like, nope. Those orcs are green with like yellow, and these orcs are green with red. Okay. Yeah, they're going to be clearly different. And I mean, it's way impactful if the items move.
It is impactful, and I'm not gonna lie, I was suspicious at the time that he was conveniently swapping Sanctuary, a 5+ invulnerable save into combat, onto the Knight, which was about to be charged by 30 Bloodletters. That was extremely convenient. So I was a little bit suspicious that he was trying to have me on there. But luckily, I've been playing Warhammer for a long time. I was okay at tracking which one had which. So I wasn't having any of that shit.
Well, that's a shame.
You weren't having any of that shit as the tagline for the show.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a shame, though, realistically. Okay, all right.
Yeah, and he didn't... Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, obviously, it's anecdotal. It's hard, but then when you hear it twice, it's hard for me to not be like, stop being a dick. So I'm just going to say that. I've heard it twice now, so in my experience, that's all I need. Like 2 people who I trust and love have told me that you're being a dick, so stop being a dick. And if it's by accident...
I think he is quite sloppy. He is quite a sloppy player.
Well, stop being sloppy then. Yeah, just get a token.
Yeah, it's not. It's the easiest
Because
thing
currently
in the world.
you're only being accused of being a sloppy gamer. Then the next time it happens, you're being accused of being a proper dickhead. So you're not currently at the stage of being accused of being a proper dickhead.
Further evidence that I would also like to say about George when he was playing is this more sloppy gamer. When he was moving his knights, he didn't measure.
Wait, what?
He just picked up his knights. He just picked up his knights and moved it, and then he redid his movement. So he's like, "Oh no, actually, I'll move them back and then move them again."
No,
even
if sloppy gaming.
Yeah.
Like the fucking rules that use a tape measure.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone gets out a
even if
it's
it's obvious that it's moving under its 12 inches.
Someone clip
whatever,
that, please.
No.
Just put that in a WhatsApp later, and he's put that.
All right, fine.
Oh, what a tit! What are you doing?
Right, Bragg Lover, to give some signing. Bragg Lover says we played those guys in the first round. I had a lovely game, although I wasn't playing George. Cry face. So there you go.
No! All right.
That's a shame. But you guys lost that game, that round.
Yeah, we lost that round. Yeah, but shout out to Simon and his team. They're cool dudes.
Yeah, big shout out to those guys. Big shout out also to everyone in 40k, everyone in AOS, everyone in Warhammer, everyone around the world. The memeasurement stat is measured with a tape measure.
It's quite important.
And
it's
you
not
would
a
actually
guesstimate.
argue one of the almost vital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be able to move your model stat.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready for some more?
More
Oh, wait,
spice.
that's a good point. Jimmy 1080 does ask Nick, is measuring in the FAQ?
Yes, movement is an FAQ.
Movement's just in the rules, actually. Okay.
All right.
I'm going to try that in the future.
Yeah, not measuring.
7.
Yeah.
4-inch charge.
It's about right, isn't it?
Banana move. Wee.
All right, cool. And then who's your final
So we're playing
round?
Team Gecko. They're one of the another London club. Sorry, I'm just trying to shift it
Okay,
forward.
no, I hear you.
Trying to get over the carpet that we've got over here.
Yeah,
All right.
I need to fix that.
So playing Team Gecko, another one of the London clubs, and I was playing against Revington, who was using a very cool Slanesh Alpha Legion army. So he had 3 units of Demonettes or something, 3 units of Havocs, 2 of them had Reaper Chain Cannon, and one of them had one of them had Reaper Chain Cannon, and then 2 of them had autocannon. Then he had 3 of those new spider-looking Chaos Lord things. Lord Discordance.
Lord Discordance.
Really good. 2 of armor saved 12 wounds.
Yeah.
Very, very strong. I mean, I had lots of squads of tactical marines there as well. Hammer and Anvil again, so I need to give him the first turn so he can walk into the centre, 4 pillars. I'd have a chance to kick him off all the objectives so he couldn't get 3 bonus points, because I know I need to give him early pressure, and that means I need to at least minimise the number of points he's getting. Shoots at a bunch of bikes, kills quite a few of the bikers. I'm fine with that, so I return. I'm like, right, I need to kill this 3 Lord Discordant, because I can't kill the Havocs, they're still going to do damage, while I've got these running into my face. So I fly the Shining Spears forward, and I shoot a bunch of stuff, and I soul burst, and I shoot a bunch of more stuff, and I kill one of them with shooting. Now, this is where we had a bit of an issue, because obviously not malicious at all, but we got into the combat phase, and we had a bit of a breakdown of communication. So I was talking about loud about my 2 choices of combat. I could either charge 2 Lord Discordant with Bale Flamers, or I could charge a Herald, a unit of Chaos Space Marines, and a unit of Demonettes.
Yeah.
So I ask Rem, and I gesture at the 2 Lord Discordant. I'm like, okay, if I'm charging them, how many attacks would they have? And obviously I'm charging both.
Yeah.
That's a collective. And he says, oh, they'd get 12 attacks. I'm like, okay, 12 attacks is a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I can probably take 6. So I charge into one of the Lord Discordant, and charge into it, and it lives on 2 wounds. And he says, okay, I get 12 attacks back. I'm like, dude, that's not what you said.
Yeah.
You said they had 12 attacks between them. He's like, no, it was definitely 12 attacks for one. I said, no, but that's not what I asked. I asked how many attacks.
So just a breakdown in communication.
It was just a breakdown in communication.
Yeah.
And then his teammate, who had been pedantic throughout the entire pairings phase and was rolling his eyes at us and just didn't want to play him, so why give him to Scott? He got
Give it to Nurgle.
yeah.
You can have the boring game
You can
against
have the
Nurgle.
no
So
game.
he sticks his nose in and says, oh, well, you wouldn't have said that if you killed it. I'm like, well, it's not really about that. It's about the risk.
Yeah.
So when I'm making the decision as to what to charge, it's a risk versus a reward deal, right?
Everything is, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's what's your trade?
if I kill it, then he could go and say, oh, well, you thought it had 6 attacks, so you wouldn't have charged it, so I get it back, right?
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm going to go and get a ref because I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
And he says, well, I'm not happy with that either. So I'm like, that's fine, we'll just go and get a ref.
That's good. Just get the ref to decide.
We go and get a ref.
Yeah.
And I said, look, I asked how many attacks, and he said 12. So I was asking the collective, and he was answering as a singular.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Wasn't malicious at all. I have no problem with how I had Greg afterwards. He's a good guy. Genuinely a good guy. I thought his list was really cool as well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing with him. But it's just left a little bit of a sour note because I thought I'd upset him a little bit, and that wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one of the things I really want to improve as a player is being assertive and not just rolling over when something happens that I don't think is correct or agree with.
Also, like, you understand, like, and no criticism to the person that you played.
No, of course, not at
in
all.
any way.
No.
Like, I know for a fact that, as we get better as gamers, and this is true for my journey, and I'm assuming it's true for yours, the both of you two as well. I'm making common practice to there's just a bunch of things I do just as wrote now. I turn up at the table, I say, if I roll anything not on the flat, I will re-roll it.
Yes, of
like
course.
you don't have to, but I will. There's just more and more that I keep as a gamer overemphasizing or saying because I'm like everything's important.
Yeah.
As an example,
And
so when I ask questions or don't ask questions, I'm slowly training myself to be better. So what I'm saying is, Thomas, I'm assuming that the way you ask questions is also geared up, or you're training yourself towards being geared up to ask the questions in the correct way, and it's good advice for everyone. Realistically.
Yeah. But also, if someone gives me something I wasn't expecting or pulls out something I would consider a gotcha or something, where it might not even be an intentional gotcha, but if I ask a question about something and then the answer turns out to be slightly different to what I was expecting based on the question, I'll go and query that. Because I think maybe one of the things I need to work on as a player is querying these things in a nice manner. And I think the way I talk and how quickly I talk can often make people think I'm being quite intense about it, which is fair, and therefore I pin quite a lot of our low soft scores for at least 3 rounds down to me personally, and how I was querying things. And I think that's fair. It's just
You're an intense dude.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, and arguably, Nick, like you know, when the guy moved his models without measuring, that would have just been like one of my actual. I did the show on Monday when I talked about playing AOS, and actually one of my intents in the future of AOS is to arguably be like actually fairly confrontational on the tabletop.
Yeah, this is
one of my future intents. We talked about what when I played incredibly passively when I played up against the Italian guy. Realistically, Nick, like, I should have just been like, no, this is not on. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, and because it's a great game and we all want to make friends and we just want to be nice. But you're right, when stuff's not fair, especially when you're not
in
professionally playing Warhammer.
In a team event, when you've got people on either side of you relying on you to do as well as you can, you need to stand up for that. And before, like, the last few years, I've still been intense, but I'm intensely kind of chill. Where it's like, oh, I'm not really big deal. It's not VETC. We'll just do it. I mean, I'll be bubbly and I'll be jumping around, doing my kind of thing. And that means I walk like 14 kilometers in an event or whatever it is. But at this point, I'm just like, well, I don't agree with that. I asked this question with this intent, and I got this answer, and therefore I believe that, you know, and I thought the wedding was clear with that, so I'm going to get a ref. And the ref ruled in my favour, so we took it back, and I charged the other thing instead, which...
They didn't have 12.
Which didn't have... Yeah. So I let him keep the wounds on the Exarch as well from the Overwatch from the other dude, just because I kind of felt bad about it, but because I know it wasn't his fault. And it was just a breakdown in communication, that's all it was, nothing malicious at all. I mean, his captain getting involved.
Do you think that there's anything you could have done? Like, I know that. Do you like honestly looking at that? You think there could have been nothing else you could have done to have made it more clear for yourself, like just as a self check?
When I asked the question of how many attacks would they get, as in they as in the plural, quite clearly it's the plural.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I don't think English was his only language.
Okay.
I mean, he's lived in England a long time, as far as I'm aware. He's a London guy, but at the same time, it's just like it's one of those things. Yeah. I don't want to let it define the game. I don't want it to define the game really, because it was a fun game and I enjoyed my time with him. But it's one of those things where it's something you can talk about that's a bit more unique, right?
No. So, and also just it's a good life lesson for everyone listening. Is to like ask your questions and then also make sure you get clear responses that you understand.
Follow-up question as well, just to clarify.
At that point, when you had 12 attacks each, I instantly knew I'd lost the game. But I still need to contest it because I want to make myself more assertive.
Yeah. Well.
So I contest that. I then spend the rest of the game. He's running his Lord Discordance up. I will say, oh, I wonder how much damage you can do to a Wave Serpent. Here, heroically intervene into a Wave Serpent just to see what will happen. So, I mean, the game was over. So it's just like, well, it's just had fun with him. I wasn't going to be too serious about positioning Wave Serpent just outside of 3 inches just to be optimal because it made no difference and it'd be fun and try and make it a bit more lighthearted. And that way I don't have to talk to his captain again. But,
his captain sounds like a knob.
Like this is the thing. When someone's a knob, I'll say they're a knob.
Yeah.
But when like
this guy wasn't.
He wasn't at all. Lovely dude. His army looked cool. His army list was really cool. I really liked his army list. I might try something similar. I think I took a picture of it actually. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
but,
maybe he was confused by his Sheffield accent.
Yeah, that one I can turn on and off at will because I lived in Oxford for 4 years. You know, Lord Discordants are really good. Havoc's backed up by 3 Lord Discordants are pretty good. Obviously, Ash stuff was good.
I'm glad the Lord Discordants good because I love those models.
Yeah.
All right, and that's us done, right?
That was it. That was the end of
my
round
team
5.
won all the games that round. So we took a
congratulations.
risk. So we put Nick into the Knights and me into that. So the other 2 would be guaranteed wins for us, and those 2 were like really difficult wins. But Nick got one of them.
I mean, yours wasn't difficult. You just got to argue him off.
Well,
I'm joking, Tom.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So actually, in the end of it, we came joint second in gaming score. We got the lowest soft scores of anyone else in the event, which is fine. I'll take the L on 3 of those rounds. That's my fault. So happy to own that because I was grumpy in round 3, because I wasn't playing the game. It's like, how can you be a favorite for an opponent when there is no opponent?
Yeah.
And then the other 2, I started arguments, which I do again, by the way.
Yeah.
The paint jobs on our armies, I brought my display
What about
board.
healthy discussions?
I brought my display board. Chris isn't the greatest painter, and he admits that himself. And there are a lot of really, really cool armies out there, so I don't,
Oh, nice.
It's fine. We came 6th in the end. Nicholas,
congratulations.
No.
Huh?
How do you do?
You came 6th. Nick, where did you come?
So, Team James Workshop came 5th.
Oh, what?
So we'd have been playing each other in round 6.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's excellent.
So we on pure gaming score we came fourth. So we lost a place.
So on pure gaming score, you would have come fourth, and on pure gaming score, Tom, you guys would have come second.
Joint second.
Joint
So
second.
we'd have probably been third, I think, of tiebreakers.
All right, nice. And then who won the event?
Draco.
Team Draco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
What with George the
congrats
wrong
to those
measurer?
fellas.
But with Simon.
George the wrong measure. Yeah.
We've bullied him enough.
Wrong measuring is a thing, but no measuring
No
is a
measuring.
whole different
It's a
world.
whole- yeah.
I will query that. I will query that. Okay.
Maybe he's just like a statistical. He's like, I know how far 12 inches is.
Maybe
I think
yeah,
it's just
maybe he
got-
does that.
So
for a job.
iPhones now have got this feature whereby you can hold it over something and it'll measure for you.
Was he holding an iPhone?
No, he wasn't.
He was very
There's
sneakily on WhatsApp.
There's this other implement that does it as well. It's usually made of kind of a tape-style material.
Maybe it broke.
Metal, isn't it? Usually coils up.
Yeah.
You pull it out from a box.
And also, Brad Glover. Did Brad Glover's team again get?
They won multiple
won
trophies.
everything.
They won best team, best army,
Best-
best
They
team
got,
army,
they got
and they go
six,
third as
they
well.
got 16 out of 20 favourite army votes, 20 out of 20 favourite game votes. So we got 36 bonus soft scores. For context, we got 2. So they snuck all the way up into third position.
Brad Glover's
Yeah.
a bit of a
Brilliant.
hobby.
Oh, he's
Brad Glover's
great.
a bit
I
of a
love
hobby
Brad.
hero. We should ask him to come on the show sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's wonderful. All right,
Hobby
great.
hangout with Brad Glover.
So congratulations though to Draco. All that said and done.
And Brad.
And
And John
Well
Swallow's
done.
team for coming second.
oh, well done, John Swallows.
But also,
Yeah.
Who doesn't, but that's his name.
James from Team James Workshop
Yeah.
won best army
Shut up.
with his knights.
That's amazing. Well done, James Workshop. That's great. And
Yeah, he
was that
was
his
really
first
shocked.
ever tournament?
First ever
Oh,
tournament.
he must have been buzzing.
Yeah, he was well pleased. Yeah.
Oh, bless him. What a sweetheart. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Oh,
But again, what annoyed me is, so when they they read out the awards, they should have said the team name. James from James Workshop just won an award.
is a great team.
Everyone in the hall would have had a little chuckle
Yeah,
at that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would have. They
Come
would
on,
have been like, nice.
I was,
Exactly.
Nice.
Come on.
I was trying to make him turn the arm.
Yeah, you
because
were
I
trying
had
like,
the,
yeah,
this
in the
Wargamer
picture.
sleeve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because we had hoodies with.
Yeah, I saw them.
James
Very cool.
Workshop
People in the chat
on
wanted
and,
some earlier.
Yeah.
Witch King's asked if he's coming to League of Nights.
Am I coming to
It's
live
James,
with
yeah, James from
Yeah,
James
James
Workshop
is.
is coming to League of Nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some hot competition for the best. So,
Yeah.
but overall, as a team event, would you go again and did
Yes.
you enjoy it?
Oh, I had a great time.
100% we're going
brilliant.
again.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really ask for better than that.
No.
Like, that's the most glowing endorsement an event can get.
Yeah.
I would go again. I had a great time.
Yeah.
It is perfect. All right, so I'm a little bit jealous I didn't have a team, to be honest.
We'll make a team next time. We'll bring the Scriver.
Oh my god, the most competitive
Bring the
team of all
Scrivo.
time.
4 orc players. all the crystal dildos are mine.
With no replicated war scrolls, data sheet, sorry.
Just orcs, boys.
Yeah. Boys, my boys.
Scrivo's rubbish at Warhammer.
But we give him all the
But
good
he
units.
could be
It's a
our...
year to train him up.
It's
He could be there to get the favourite game votes because he's such a pleasure to
It's
be around.
okay. He can run the looters.
Well, we'll get him drunk.
There you go.
And
I'll
he
give
won't
him a
t-
silly
but then
hat.
He won't turn up on day 2.
Well, it's okay. We'll give him a silly hat. It's fine. We'll just work a body pillow with a hat on it at Scriver. We make it work.
He is also vegan, that's right.
Is he?
Dan. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Scrivo is
Yeah, he
famously-
looks it like it,
All
yeah.
artists are vegan.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
That's the
He looks
thing.
the type. doesn't he?
Yeah. And then Camelot says, I'm thinking of drinking a tea
Yeah, do
from
it, do it.
Plymouth.
Cameron.
There you go. The Hellstorm boys should also come as well, so we should kick the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
On the
That shouldn't be
tabletop.
hard.
I
You
mean, that
want
won't
some.
be hard,
No.
though, is it?
Not really,
Like, 'cause
no.
I think,
The only thing
I think only 1 out of the 4 of them can read.
The only thing that'll be hard about that will be my dick.
I'm off to watch a real event. I'm so confused about that. I'd love to get you over for an event. It says to get over to an event, says the Irish Marine Tour. Yeah, that's good.
You come over here. I'll come to QCon.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's awesome. Thank you guys for today.
That was brilliant.
You guys have been
Thank you very
wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Can I just give my teammates a shout out?
Yeah,
So
of course you can.
Paul, James, Andy, you guys were fucking awesome at the weekend.
Sweet
So
potatoes.
And
thanks.
Loads of BDE on the team.
Massive.
Massive.
My team did mad work
huge.
as well.
Huge. Huh?
My team did mad work as well, especially Nick in that final round.
Yeah, do you want to give him a shout
Nick
out?
Council
Big props.
smashing it against the Knights last round, and then Scott and Chris as well. Did really good.
Brilliant. I really like Scott's version of Warhammer. Someone's like, this guy seems like a dick, Scott. And Scott's like, don't worry, make him play my Nurgle.
I got this.
Yeah, I got this.
There you go. I'm now going to Gale Con, apparently.
All right, perfect. All right, so yeah, it's wonderful having you guys on the show. I hugely appreciate everything you do for 40k. on the show. And I think the community is lucky to have both of you in it, realistically.
No problem.
So
Thanks for having me on.
thank you to everyone in the Twitch chat. You guys have been wonderful. Hook and Pin who's donated 490 bits. You babe. Dude Our Day also. Reflex Dog Training also. Just all of you guys who've been in the chat. Hugely appreciate that. Thank you to everyone on Patreon. You guys, we've got some 40k news in the next few maybe months. No, I mean next week we'll be doing Yunari, but we've got a little bit more to give to the 40k community in a while, haven't we? I think. Do you remember that thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember
that thing that's in the works.
That thing that we're doing.
Yeah, I remember that thing.
So yeah, there's some things. So hopefully you guys. But what I want to say is Patreon and Twitch and all you guys helping to get that stuff off the ground. So big thank you to you guys. Don't forget, there's also the League of Nights if you want to come play some night-based 40k with Nikos.
25th of May.
25th of May.
Night craziness.
We'll all be there. Nights for days.
Every time someone was playing Knights versus Knights at the event, I was going over and asked them if they enjoyed the game.
Nice.
Wouldn't this be better though if you could alternate the night activations?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that does sound good. Yeah. But we'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. We hope to see you guys soon. And just hydrate, stay well, have a great day.